And I'm so full house about to be Bianca. I will aye Jumadina so. Ebra, yes, Jumadina say free. I'm on it na ye. I will aye a fisherman na. Yabo body nano at the Abraham to join a live. Our YouTube in Shot TV. YouTube in Shot TV. Our the old Jumadina nana all saying 18 life. Oba. On subscribe channel now, subscribe mommy. Oh yeah. Now do message no ka ho. Ye come on any aba, ye ba messages are. Mode aba ni na ye be kenkan enso de amamo ewo dwumadi no. Aso na ye be hye dwumadi na se ade free amanene. Say Barca, I'm confirm say nyame adoma sama am beto big players. Am beto big fishes ni bi. Na am so abesia kan ade ama aye Barcelona. Yes Benfica nso no a lodge official complaint at the ama aye UEFA. Na complain why no ma ye complain dia fa no na complain kura fa de ho no se ka bi cham etnasia o de san komo no at the bedan e wo dwumadi so Barcelona am player fence dan Omo enso de komo bi dia tudwa na arante de sinya nten nya mienu kure ni Barca performance nkoye na so mpo so mo Champions League ne pa dia ane they need to up their game anyasa Ansha na Champions League no Barca entimi anje Arsenal so yesibuka Saka Arsenal in contract ade ama aye Arsenal bobuku no eno so nkomo eno Europa League games eto dwane Conference League ni na no Gabi Trasia or the result no and so ade ebebryan ewo dwumadi so na yebefia na yebedi Black Stars nkomo pa yenenim se Black Stars ya homboa na nyame adoma 2026 FIFA World Cup because US, Canada and then Mexico no ya yan boa na yakwakobo eye sa World Cup no na nemu ana mpanifo a kire se ose prepare huye and intine dia friendly games kura ya line apa ya de baboabo ya ho ansa na yakwakobo eye World Cup no games ni bi eye Austria, Germany and then Mexico ni na no eye games ya bobo ade aboabo ya ho ansa na yakobo eye World Cup no na on se ban say ya now it's a technical team no as with me call up denya for any games no being new faces so ebetimi esa kan ade ama the Black Stars of Ghana nanemu na de and this the technical team no guso amo consider two players na two players no bako Salib Adams osina kan de ma mediama ana abrantie fa ni say ehubejewu of Kumasi Asante Kotoko. So two players locally. You see, technical team no he. Some ranking mienu na omo yibako ama ono so nyame adoma. For any games abo boss yi omo so etimi afim ba ko no akusia kan ade ama the Black Stars of Ghana. Now enya no nko goalkeepers no so afam no. Ye two goalkeepers from Hearts of Oak. Abrante Benjamin Asari and Somolon Agbusi. You see, two goalkeepers in so no. The technical team no. Consider them so. The omo mienu nyina no. You be for omo na edomo akakobo sa any games eda yenemi. Ekoban so update to ha on sports fan no. As they say, 170 say Andrea. Then you to our parliament. MPs no donation at the ama sports fan na. And so Koba na MPs o my donation ni adi ni na no. Ye de hunsam atimi adi abramo in showers of 4.5 941 yankwai na garbage ram gabi the foreigner atifo onche dwumadi na se awa manene emfama yewia besma ko husu bempa yala ewa ha sanso ana Fifi Manfred o ma bekam ho na fe chado atifo ye de nsem ni na no ye rom ni edi nkomo no atimi adi amamo good morning pamcho yakwa manene Minim say be Arsenal game no nkomo. Arsenal league no meet me anje. Anoma bottle no.
Oh, let us not jump the gun.
Okay.
Yenko di Arsenal nkomo.
Okay.
What happened last night at the Molineux is more important than what Newcastle money had the Adekoko El Karabakh. Arsenal's game against Wolverhampton Wanderers was huge. Which say Ubisa question say Arsenal about whole league in Udika. But what is true is that Arsenal didn't just drop 2 points and run. You see, the two extremes of the conversation is that Obi Arsenal Nina so believe in Arsenal projects Nepal Bekacho say, oh, BBNC, there is still 5 points as it stands now between Omo and Man City. If there is also somebody that is not a firm believer of their Arsenal, like, you know, and they will point back and say for the last 3 seasons, they be Arsenal this second. They'll tell you that Arsenal Elusu League, you know, and Ranaju. But I am a little bit in between the two extremes. Many Obi Obeka say it wasn't just a drop of points and run a yajene. But also, what has been lost by Arsenal and you see and Ranaju is the loss of the margin of error. What am I trying to say? Say, who ye be our margin of error kakra bataon. If I say there was 2 million in our accounting. Now, udis kana udi 1 million, you 1 million down. So that's your margin of error. BBC, you can follow the 1 million. But since you can't so take ever be 50 cities are, you know that you don't have a margin of error again. So now at that point, you begin to become extra careful. That's what Arsenal have lost. The margin of error is gone. It is gone. And that is the honest truth to every Arsenal fan in Mikel Arteta. And then it was clear in their faces. And this has not happened just at Molineux, Derby. This has been happening over the last 8 games Arsenal our English Premier League in them. You see, Usha Arsenal matches in January, since January 2026, you start the season now. Rich Oboye against Fulham, Liverpool, Forest, United, Leeds United, Sunderland, Brentford, and Team FN of Wolverhampton Wanderers and Ranacho. And one match should have been the easiest of the lot that Arsenal have played because statistically, Wolves are the weakest team in the English Premier League. But Rich, what has happened to Arsenal in the last 8 games? If you look at this data on your border, Rich, 8 games that Arsenal have in the last matches in the English Premier League. Washemu 3 pet.
Last 8.
Yes, 8. And this 8 had a record in the 2026. You read January, February, you won't see. These are the games Arsenal have played in 2026, and they've won just 3. Rich, in them, there have been 4 draws. 4. A draw against Liverpool, a draw against Nottingham Forest, a draw against Brentford, and a draw against Wolverhampton Wanderers. One major loss was against Manchester United match now, Omolusu Sa match. Which, so we the last 7, Arsenal winning pet. Just 2 games. Those are the games Arsenal winning in the last 7 matches. So that is why I keep on telling you that for me, it's about the loss of the margin of error. But look at this. Say, make us a margin of error nekwa. Arsenal need or pet Arsenal team actually will ask me that fee. What then is the problem? Because I've seen people say so they had a lack of creativity. But when you look at the Premier League table of teams or creative partner, Rich, almost a third. I think it's Man City, Chelsea, and Arsenal. It's not a problem of creativity. They create from different ways. Or to make creative from set piece, or to make creative from open play, or to make creative from the wide area. They create. It's not a problem of creativity. Which I think that I had 3 separate cracks. And I can't mama situation a very complex for Arsenal. I'm losing on margin of error.
First one.
First crack is Adia no defending on power, which is on Achilles heel, which is the defense now. It is beginning to leave them. On defense, no.
That's all man. Be envy.
Yes, but performance-wise,
a dip.
Yes. It is not as if Arsenal are conceding loads of goals. Oh. You say they are conceding 3-4, Derby. In fact, if you look at the games I'm talking about, Bakupa against Man United were conceding 3. But the problem is the manner in which Arsenal are conceding, the time in which they are conceding. So watch the time that Arsenal they score early first. Now wait a game, no. Game ni kora no see what you know second 10 ni upon. But what has happened to Arsenal in recent times? Now they are conceding first and they are conceding very late. Manchester United, Arsenal are calling.
Yeah.
Arsenal gets its first one. Then the dying numbers of the game. Bruno Cunha, 87th minute. Arsenal are in trouble, 3-2. Then Arsenal go away to team friend is Sunderland. Dying numbers of the game, somewhere in December, Brian Bobe gets the goal, 2-2. Rich, against Aston Villa, Emi Buendia, game no yet there, it's there for everybody to take 1-1. Then Emi Buendia pops up, scores in the 95th minute. Arsenal are in trouble. Rich, you go and look at the Bournemouth game, where they struggled. Most of those games, either Arsenal concede first or they concede very late. So they don't concede so many. But it is the times, it is when, and it is how they concede those goals. Because we all know Arsenal were very good centre backs to make defending transitions. The fullbacks can go as high as they want to go, but there are spaces in the wide area. Spaces nearby. Saliba, Gabrama guys, Okata when you cry, you know that they will defend those balls.
Omabre.
It can be a possibility.
Arsenal do more that. Oh, omutinum.
You see, Rich, sometimes
Omabre, mama bench ni mubie.
Yes. Sometimes Anna is not just the physical fatigue, it can be mental.
Okay.
It can be the mental fatigue that is taking a toll on Arsenal team, clearly. And one Shania in any of them. Because Enra, when the Piero and Capio goal went in, me share Champions League matches nibi. And I mean here, Emmanuel say or referee me say, may you know send your man so send him information so why BBA and I'm so okay, Mati. No say Jack. Na me the against Arsenal na cha na say Jack. Enfa against for Juma ready enfa. No so there. Hwa there. Until again, me the Johnny Chidi. Then he calls me and tells me, "Oh, friend, na cha. The Wolves goal has scored in." I say, "Hey."
Me say my game to be honest with you. Now me Champions League games.
Yeah.
Because Arsenal Wolves them say there. Me call grand 2 na so. Me ha me okran ko again. Nti me nam media no so na me hu so obi abetro say, "Hey, Arsenal." Na Arsenal idie.
Chat na ya to.
Esem ko hwe result no. Me ko 2-2 na. Hey, me kala tete na so biem. Against Wolves, ala go draw. That's no problem, no. I don't know.
Which, so I told you say it's 3 different cracks. I've told you about the
first
defense and all of that. And the defense specifically, and not because they are conceding so much, but the times which they are conceding. So what does that mean? It means that Arsenal are not controlling games well. Who say you bobo on this and say who conceded last minute? It means you are not in control. Who conceded very early in the game? It means you are not only football because what's a 2-0? What do? You control the game. Oh, pass it amongst yourself. Oh, your fouls. Game management. Near friends, you do it. But when you begin to concede after you score goals and very late, then you have problems to control. So the number 2 is Arsenal's slow slip away of control of games. Rich, for me, the third one is this. Arsenal XG on the night and Wolverhampton XG on the night in it. But the game ended 2-2. Arsenal shot a boy on the night in it, and Wolverhampton on the shot a boy on the night in it. But the game ended 2-2. Arsenal shot on target a boy on the night in it, and then the Wolverhampton on the shot a boy on the night in it.
For the sake of a moment radio.
Yeah.
Kofi Stars I walk on the board no so no. Osha edges now. Wolves the near 0.29.
Yeah.
And Arsenal the near 1.86.
Yeah.
Osha shorter. Wolves ball 5.
Yeah.
Arsenal ball 10.
Yes.
On target, Arsenal ball 4.
Yeah.
Wolves ball 2.
Yeah.
You will not give me 2-2.
So it means that on the 2 nights.
In terms of ball possession,
Yeah.
Arsenal 58%.
Yeah.
Wolves were 42%. Or the about draw.
Yeah. It means that so compare two teams now. Any precision, because precision is different from being efficient. The precision in terms of finishing of chances are Wolves were better. They had lesser chances, they had less quality chances, but they got 2 goals, whilst Arsenal had more, almost twice or thrice or so, but then had less of those chances, had the same goals as Wolverhampton Wanderers. So Rich, I think that the question of Arsenal not having a 20-goal, 30-goal, 40-goal centre forward or striker is also beginning to creep up on them.
I don't go to Vito Gokaris.
Gokaris, I think he has like 12 goals or so.
Gabriel Jesus so is back.
Yes, but then yesterday they get goal count.
Kaina has a dance or Kwano.
But Kai buy a camp, he's putting in a good work. And I think that for Arsenal, they get the goals from across the team. However, the one person clinical finisher is beginning to dwindle at Arsenal team.
Anyway.
I mean, for Bukayo Saka, I don't know mom goes be break. He was out for a long time and no buy a goal. But again, where Arsenal getting the goals from in nights when they've had 10 shots at their quality, which for me these are the 3 cracks. They are staring Arsenal in the face. Then you're and he said, Rich, the emotions that are glaring on the Arsenal players' faces in here normal. Oh, you're fine. If these things happen to you in that moment, it will show on you that you're in trouble. But it's about how you manage it. Mikel Arteta can say, or say they need to feel the pain. And that is how they can get out of it. Which, this weekend, Arsenal won against Tottenham Hotspur. In Kenya, because this is the Tottenham Hotspur forming here. But for me, it is one man who is now in the dugout of Tottenham Hotspur team, the man in Humame. I got to do. Their interim manager. You see, Obi Onim Ego Tudobia will tell you that he is a short-term fixer of teams. Juventus recently, he did it over there. When they had gone bottom barrel and Abrantia, your friend Thiago Motta, they brought him. He literally got the Juventus boys believing again. Although he's not a long-term coach, but so a short-term ade, Obi Obi to get the confidence back and believe her. I got to gives it to teams. And that is where makes that game a huge banana skin. If Arsenal can manage that game on Sunday and then go on into it, they have a good one. Maybe nothing is happening. But for me, the margin of error is gone. And what it means is that Arsenal cannot afford to make any slip-ups again. Still, they are in the lead. Still, they can win the league. But then, no point. Omu make another slip-up. The league is gone. And Mikel Arteta say, one thing I will promise the fans is that we will not finish below 2nd place this season. And that is still very good.
So Arsenal mentally tired, yeah. And you must see gaga. Because I find the city be more chase.
Yeah.
It is your more season in me. Now they say mentally we are tired. And you both season baby you boko gaga.
Yeah.
So dam bam.
Yeah.
But I find I will be game pa.
Serious problem.
You touch him now nekobon. Touch him never go.
Yeah.
Udi agro be call relegation.
New manager bounce.
New manager bounce.
Yeah.
Ni na be you in that game. Hey, Arsenal Kofi. Who dey we na? Me dream one, to be honest with you, Arsenal my dream one.
The margin of error is gone, so they need to start afresh. It's almost starting with Tottenham Hotspur. Almost very tricky games against Chelsea, against Man. But which Manchester City will match against Newcastle this weekend. Can go anywhere. It can go anywhere.
Sure.
So Arsenal just need to do their job, focus, and then go back and get a job done. Now, and no BBC say Ebane saying Arsenal kwana na ebo match. You say match we a match because in the week of the Carabao Cup final.
Okay. Yes,
City there ISN kono boni against Crystal Palace. But Crystal Palace be Conference League and then. It's not even more City. So they'll play that subsequently, but all of them will play. And that is why Arsenal played one game ahead. And now in the Champions League, Newcastle went away to Carabao and did a job. For me, it was always going to happen. Oh, share the teams and Newcastle, Omutia teams, they show my say. Champions League, they put them in their proper place. And yesterday, Eddie Howe led his charges to be able to do that job nicely. Our branch friend Anthony Gordon got 4 goals in a very, very good game. But this is the story. We said it again.
And here, I want to know interview.
Yeah.
Team are defensively. Watertight.
Yeah.
Inter team no.
Yeah.
You show the three. Bodo team three. And no who's gonna invite me James.
First I've never 1-1. Omo ko ba.
Fonisha goes too much.
Papa. Bodo die me de bia me ka wan say o de o pese okutwa bet na onyim ni ade shema bodo match bia ko over 2.5. Bodo match
Inter team way three.
Yes, bodo match bia because omo you fearless they will play. Omo no be boy no be bi mabo. And yesterday in Bodo which it means that there are 3 teams in Bodo for na yom ho adwuma. Omo ye City ho adwuma, omo ye Atletico de Madrid ho adwuma, and omo de Internazionale Milan ho e de aka ho enra. And yesterday according to one of the European forecasts now, in terms of cold and weather condition, that was the coldest place in all of the Champions League venues in Enra, and they managed to get a job done after doing it against Inter. Now they are in a very, very good place. Now, Club Brugge switched on Bobby against Madrid. Say, Belgium. And Bamba may take you over. It was 2-0 in the first half. Second half 2-2. Dying numbers it became 3-2. And then Zolis Emmanuel 3-3. It means that it is open. Which now only BB I said Wednesday match is near very open for next week. Yes, Bodo I said 3-1 there, but the Giuseppe means I can be a little bit tricky. Newcastle are true in my opinion. Club Brugge and Atletico de Madrid very, very open for the 2 teams, and we'll see how it's going to go. Also, our matches now, Rich, the Champions League, any Arsenal match in Hong Kong, then to any matches also in the Europa League. Europa League in the you get 100% record.
Oh, okay.
And see, we are going back again. Brand any Bologna, Fenerbahce, any Nottingham Forest, Dynamo Zagreb, any Genk, POK, any Celta, Celtic, any Stuttgart, Lille, any my friend is saying Dynamo Zagreb, then Ludogorets, Ferencváros, and of course Panathinaikos, any Victoria Pilsen. It should be a very, very exciting set of games.
The next fixtures. Opa Arsenal in match. Na Obia be the same number of Arsenal games. Ma Obia can be at 3 points. One of us Arsenal.
So normally do 2 points.
So what is the problem? League near Bono. And yes, Arsenal at the baby near to Tio Mobile. Omuno Obia enable league Nico. And yam because you see a domini Esso. They are so intercatcher. Into any problem. But Arsenal will win this league. Obi oyo chiri difu bi opon brani into bets. Abba.
Even Arsenal for now cry no. Omo say say panic say league ya hwe but ye be bottle no.
That is from a supporter's perspective.
Okay.
Maybe I'm catch you say your fans for no man trolling any argument that is for them. Me betina me fan. I look at all the teams in the Premier League. Me show Obia strength, Obia consistency, Obia fixtures team no say here. Arsenal is better than all of them. And go for you, Arsenal akobo draw against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Team edi Arsenal chi City. The next game is at the Etihad against Newcastle. Does this guarantee you so versus our game nana?
You see, my answer is no.
Yes, Arsenal tricky fixtures, but in the next 2 games, or North London derby against Tottenham. No, we are about Chelsea. 2 very, very crucial. I think City, about Newcastle, then they play one, I think, Leeds or so. Very, very on paper.
Tricky.
Very cheap games, relatively. So how they compare Arsenal now? Okay, obviously, and the entity say Arsenal in League and say along Arsenal fixtures, no, almost City ball. Who told you this City team will beat Arsenal?
I say football.
No, and say footballer. I didn't know will be say City versus Arsenal, and the manager says City versus League. No, this City team can't beat Arsenal. This season, on Pomunsha 10, they can never beat Arsenal. Not even a single one. And don't promote for say be in Zonka. The day Uncle for be to Arsenal be winning league, no, Rich will be the day they will beat City. Omuno musia.
Onum debate league no.
And be mo bia or you involved in this debate in be to say Ayala kan Arsenal team no is better than City team no. Oh the upper I drew me see obi oyo chin di phobia no.
I tell you, I like BMO.
Me you be that by this time.
Also, there are who say so now. No,
Fautima or Gidis of our sign as now.
Obet
Which and me share game. Let me see. Now, one thing wonder say boy no more. San common na be omodano. Because Enra, they played very, very well. And they look like a spirited team. Team of spirits. They match Arsenal boot for boot. Yes, there were moments that Arsenal just said they were so dominant over them, especially up to the time Arsenal said 2-0. No? But Rich, after Arsenal 2-0, no, and even in between, Wolverhampton Wanderers actually said they are not pushovers in a Premier League. And I was asking myself, was for the CN they be omo and Arsenal challenge, you know, and I'm on my page omo boss our game, you know. I think they did well. And it's a whole born and no money Arsenal boy now. Rich, on the balance of play, they deserve something out of the game. My problem with Arsenal and Ra, look, omo game management, you know. Mikel Arteta seems to be confused. Our solid defense. And see, onim say, on take a decision say, or take a lead we. Na ohana on team for in managing the game, on rely on a solid defense, no defending me and Poana. And I say, only the student that he has been all over in life as a coach, working under Pep. I said the best way to manage a game is to possess it. Now on your ball no kuta no dictative play nana. Now Anka Timewo Zubimendi, Declan Rice. Obi obebo tembia say Odigado, say Ezel, say Mikel Mereno, say Bukayo Saka Nansing, and Adrift. Arsenal do have a team. Rich, I think what they should be doing at the training grounds is to possess the game, doing game management rather than
defending,
like relying on their solid defense. Because baby, Mikel Arteta free ban, City no. Ni period no in the leagues that City won, their game management plan was not to defend; it was to possess the football. And yes, Mikel Arteta, Daniel Fisadian, because only players on Metmaesa, they do have it.
Abia is on trust in the defense in the game.
You see,
because Arsenal at this time won't concede. They are conceding 2-3.
It is because of the way they are defending. Arsenal shouldn't be a team that would defend low block under pressure against Wolves. No. What should you do? No one possible on any upon. That is Arsenal. That is a disciple of Pep. That is what Pep will do. That is what a Spanish coach will do. It's all the attributes of Arteta. And the way he wants to manage games, you know. And that is why Emma may question and say, why is he doing that?
Go Wolves now on the neighbor. Actually, 2-0.
Yes, 2. Pass the game and let's go. 2. Pass on the name pong. Mikel Arteta, you are a Spanish midfielder. You've learned under the best when it comes to game management with possession. So what is your problem? And you do have the materials. Oh, materials, you know. Rich, say a drew the idea. You see, sometimes you know, when you are also far from the team, the armchair coaching is more easier on paper. Yeah. Because and come and tell you say there are some games a do best 78 minutes last na say 2. They should forget about more forward wingers now. Like Enra, time of pressure no Musunya, they still had Martinelli and all the Trossard by. But I would have preferred you bringing in more midfielders than wing forwards. Somebody born in America.
I'm on card midfield
because somebody go America. It is either they are going to create a chance from it or they are going to lose the ball. So if you don't want to lose the ball, bring in players. They will play to frustrate you. You may have Odegaard as your number 10. You may have Eze as one of your wingers. When you want to manage games, it is Eze, or Odegaard, or Zubimendi, or Declan Rice. These are 4 midfielders. 4. They can 2 microseconds, 3 microseconds, and they can pass. And Odegaard should watch that. The game management is becoming problematic. And Rich, if you want to extend the Arsenal competition, say what? Even now saying Arsenal games are winning. Any ball no winning. They are not playing dominant football. Arsenal, they are not dominating opposition to win. They play just like the Omobon and against Wolves, But the difference is that they are able to say Omodo game management state now. They are able to defend well. And on with the way Gabriel Magalhaes and David Raya, because according to Magalhaes, time across in the Bayern, goalkeeper, he was no Gabriel. No, he had the situation under control.
Okay,
you don't have to panic and come out. And how about Montina miscommunication? Mummy and Mko class in about the Kotoho, them pum. That Nigerian UK guy, small boy. Oba game require only be 10 minutes. No ball on the Calafiori. And a ball say. And the time now born is saying, you wouldn't expect us now say, or meet Masako go be him. Now, before Sir incident in the look at chances of Arsenal. Gabriel Jesus Nyebi, Martinelli Nyebi. But they couldn't and kept 3-0 there. Was a bum crab. And see, yes, these are the lessons that Arsenal must go through to fine-tune the way they want to finish the league. But Rich, I still insist, from every Premier League club this season, Arsenal is better than all of them. The signs now, Arsenal, also now, Obi say, oh, a weakness, Say weakness, Omu competitors now even more. Omu quite more weaker than Arsenal.
Oh, 2 messages. First one, Samson. I say I'm an Arsenal fan, but I'm not convinced that Arsenal can beat City at Etihad Sports, especially after struggling to get a point against City at Etihad this season. Then the second message from Odum TV. I say Richard, tell Ayala that I want to bet him €100.
Nice one.
That Arsenal cannot win the league.
First one, Arsenal fan no. Was it on your convinced Arsenal be Man City?
Yeah.
In the reverse
official.
And the reason and it's
the first leg no want to me am far
Oh come on. First leg in City share Arsenal na.
I don't almost draw right.
Me say this City team can't beat Arsenal. Now ebe me they say if Arsenal should maintain the points gap, not only the City game anymore. Rich, what it would then mean, say, Pep Guardiola must tell the boys, we must win this game. Say, Arsenal. I want that kind of game. Where City comes into a game against Arsenal, and they know that they must come out and win that game. No? How no? And your fluke say, "Oh, Wadri." I was Spanish national team.
Meko Arsenal no na yedi nkoma kakra Arsenal boboko no eno na Branton de Bukayo Saka wo mo ye contract extension adema akwada no na anopa wedi nkoma kakra atase nani adie pa in fact contract extension na why de ama Arsenal no ayade ama nani adie pa na ade ama nani di pa wo Arsenal pa boboko no aye se ene se ne kawe nyina beba na wiye no bi bebi sa se hwan na oye fe no Bukayo Saka ene enkrofo comment o memeki yes oh abofra bia no wanya 7 to 8 years ates osase ebo Arsenal Academy a okọ trust Arsenal for fa no a wonyini ya bebo Arsenal boboko no ates odi nkruwa bebre di ma Arsenal boboko no trophy bia ese hu hia no wetumi die wase eno ne legacy a wo pen wo Arsenal ento obia ebo Bukayo Saka no ma hu bebia Bukayo Saka enso efri ade aba wase ade ama na ni tie power Arsenal ese supporters no wase bebia obefa bia ubenya Arsenal supporter ene ese holidays kwa no obekwa wobɛnya Arsenal fan wɔ hɔ atɛ sɛ wɔfa na atɛ sɛ ɔmo hoahoa yie paa wɔte sɛ wɔsi akan na woba Emirates de wo agya ne sitia na de wo a France ne esi gye ɔmo so no ɛyɛ adeɛ a mɛna ne gye yie paa nti ɔno Bukayo Saka ɛno ne adeɛ a tɛmiɛ ɛsɛ no ɛyɛ den ama ɔno ɛyɛ deɛ ɛsɔ yɛ ɛde ma Arsenal bɔbɔ kɔɛsan sɛ France no ɛdɔ ne yie paa sɛ wobɛkɔ baabi anka wɔsi wo nsusu so wobɛhyia Arsenal supporter wɔ hɔ wɔsi wobɛhu ane sɛ wɔahyia Arsenal supporter na de wo bɛfa so agye wo so no ano koraa no ɛmata sɛ woyɛ Arsenal player w'ani ɛtumi gye yie paa ɛno yɛ reporter Arsenal player Bukayo Saka ɛde ɛba ɛwɔ dwumadie so na menkɔ Kele Navas former Madrid wɔn goalkeeper wɔde nkɔmɔ kakra de aba yɛbisa sɛ nansɛntɛm Madrid coach bi abeba na yeso coach no walusu dressing room ene Xabi Alonso boy ensmp na etoja avelo abalu abaye initially di kan ba se emese ade ne so na nyamfa afi ebeba se woni mrante na yeku na ano na Kele Navas say in fact woni coaches be bra ya adwuma na coach ba ko atemia onya na asem kada eye Zinedine Zidane was Zidane adwuma wo be ye de ma Madrid in fact ni player bi o ha was no mpe Zidane asem esan za kwaya Zidane befa so enwa kasa de wo befa so afro enwa yan tutuye no wo ye player ko a wan kasa anata so obedo pain no wase nya se ebia respect nkwana na omo wo edema no se ebia oye man former player se dabi apart from respect na players no ewo edema no wono ankasa se yam ni nipa hunkuta hundie pa de wo pain ya de ye pa enti eboye ma Madrid ni time no Madrid player bia yi ni yam so obesia kan e de mo pain no wase even se Madrid ebeko training no makwa trainer player bia ho fama no eye 200% ana omde mo panya ne dey Zidane esan kwan a no ofa so enu omudi nkomo kwan ofa so any players ne ekasa enton de oni coaches bebre aye aduma beta Zidane de wodanso kra e player relationship mo ene yankoba kakwan so Kele Navas edi eba e duma de so enei make check kakra edi ema the big Sam Allardyce edi nkoba kakra de atutwa na ade abako a ewo England aye womun finfin ho sada sa tomaticho ati Morgan Rogers beko anaso di Kopa ma beko anaso di Jude Bellingham beko eno na sisia na aba ye omodadwene ye pa na Samala da se yenka emo bianta se mpempen de wono Samala da su bisa no player I say you did the bone feel for a part of Becassa, Morgan Rogers. Essence a born now could down bonum. As I said, Obama midfit strongness, no, Obama 15 day, no, aside that, no, the ghost akaho, ne born our 3 pa, and this or no or your coach, and your red copy. Now, besides us, our players are our body. When you move back on the LEDR, one of Becassa Morgan Rogers, or no your player, and near down number 10 road in there, and so on some to me estate, na obo Edema the 3 Lions of England and here reporter the big Sam Twitter na obia no say team beat is Newcastle in fact Obeka campaign for say we munya betre and from Eddie Howe esansa kwan offer so wa he team no and then Nanyama ba from Kakromunya Butcher, no moon still lawyer, and from Eddie Howe. Essence, the 10 days now, and Carbenia team, yeah, no, a top player be open, and they antisa the number of spending, sir, who best spend, who spend, yeah, no, Jessica winner, and yes, financial fair play, and Subeto, and Tisabia, Saudi now, who paid Jessica the top players, no, and yes, I net here, I will see a Premier League, and T one Dobeka team and it in at the Mepato, Newcastle, so Omunya Butre, and from Eddie Howe. And your reporter and pato pay no adi tuta e wo dwumade so na no pay mika tere kakra adiama now ma men training na men ko PSG boboko no ya se PSG for say wo muni ka bia e so mutua edema killing Mbappe esansa nano da omukọ court no sika bia court e do mo so mu ntwa fama killing Mbappe no metwa enti omunima de kra Mbappe ni na entorade no se bia omunti so metwa scan dia anka be anka omunsan court na omunko bisam ye anya sa pa dia omu PSG boboko no enche ombe release the court ruling sika omu do mo so omuntwa no omu de beba bonti na fe obi ehu sampa PSG boboko no killing Mbappe omu ne ka sa ne 4 million no se bia 60.9 million euros so Saskan say we met training na adi ama abanta de killing Mbappe adi ne entourage no entari yankoba kakwan so a free PS yakate adi eba be 3 weeks ago ana mebe beka to say uko Brazola wo ma yo madwe so panya ne din adi Carlo Ancelotti contract extension one be adi ama no we dey say 4 years contract ana mo di mo pay na no da mebe beka to say contract no wo ma ye adi mo pay na ne sa na emrada o pay na kaza confirm Carlos Rotti say no cry 4 years contract nampa e wo ho atese otwaso ene omaye wase wo ko ene aduma na oye no ho no anka say nani juye pa and we are very impressed with their performance our team no enso enyente no cross 4 years ne dem what the Brazil for no enso erome no aye confirmation am epa e wo duma de so na no pe no make it adama na me kwa Argentina na makwa kodi nkoma kakra opanya ne tin adi chiki tapia wono na aye FA president adama Argentina wo mu enso football no kwabna opanyi yese omede ntansa bi adi abono na entansa omede abono no woma sense mani ntu kwan ko ba bia so mu se wafa flight ko ba bia kwabna ban eda no so wodi kwan so otu kwan ko ba bia esanse wokwa the economic criminal court no enso adi amane bobi eba so pay wo ma ban no so betu kwan esanse mu hwehwe sika bi omunya hweye sika be no mo we o mo se 19.353 billion kwabna enu sky na 19.353 billion dollars enu score mo se wo mo hwehwe edefi papa ne nchen na enyo no nkwa na saska we wo mo pe edefi no ho wo mo se ono ene aye ni mpemfo tese efene treasure opanya ne dine ade Pablo Tovigino kwabra mo tese Pablo Tovigino nso ka ho wo mo nyina ma me ya no na omo koya kodawa wo mo se anya chikitapia ene Tovigino nkwa mpemfo bia aka ho ene opanya ono ye general secretary general adimo current one Christian Malasapina wonu so say eka ho ana general director Gustavo Roberto Lorenzo wonu so eka ho ana omo former secretary openya ne de Victor Blanco womu tese womu hia seska we de from ho na on the 5th of March womu mna mepiem wo court na santansa na omo de abom no womu mna meyi omo ho ano se eye no kra se anya no kra no meyi omo ho ano omu susu se tax eye investing ana family laundry ana nkrofo ne ye and is on the 5th no omo bana so omu di fa na omo meyi omo ho ano omu ni for dia ene omu tiri hu so ene ya Argentina mepato omu FA president dia ye de abon wa Argentina na no pe no make it edama na FIFA enso akwatena se eno ada anata so mo announce a partnership ata se eno eye the peace board na sa peace board no Donald Trump anata se nensa esa no mo se eno na tese Gaza mpapa no so ene wo mo ene Israel fo ntu kwaye ba ya ehwa asese wo mo se ho ana wo mo de kwakosese niam ho na FIFA fo tese wo mo na football so ede yankofo kese pa eba Gaza se ne be ya sa oye ne ene ntokwa nyina etwetwa enti FIFA tese wo mo de FIFA 50 FIFA arena mini pitches at the echo almost so much 3 to 6 months said the first phase no mu after 5 full side football pitches sa 5 aside no kwabra eno so wo mo kwakoye mako num wo ho eno so mata aye within 12 months aye so mo wie afa modern FIFA academy eno so aye so be 2 years aye so eno so mo wie ana afa wo mo AC 20,000 seater national stadium wo ho eno so de aye so within 2 years no so mo wie ni nyina na afa Gaza aye ade say project no etimi course na football edi unity edi ba anu yankoma ba kakran so efiri FIFA akate edi ba ewo dwumadi so na mamenko the NFF Nigerian Football Federation na omo head coach and the aja chele me pato Eric Chele atwenkrata ekunti ne tintintin de akoma Nigeria for say some person wo to so head coach de mo dia ene kwabna osini nsemnie na otese 19 conditions eno na Nigeria for no edisu dia obey coach e dia mo number 1 was ohia private SUV a driver eka ho a security eka ho and to bodyguard no afa number 2 was ohia efie at a very safe area a light to her 24/7 yenum light to her ajachele no afa was ohia fully equipped office a projector or the benye analyst tese internet and so aya dumaye anu ye de no so etwasom afa wohia aye ticket e de ama ne yire ene ne ma na flight ticket na wohia de ama na yire ne ma kwa na watetem wase ne yire de business class ticket and so moto edemanom ne ma ne de womunya economy ade ama ne ma na no problem afa when you training equipment na say training equipment nso no do no request for ana yesa Nigeria for ne de ma no enye de o Nigeria for nkasa pep no makwakoto ediaba afe ade ba kwa aka ya say so mo baba friendly match bia so no ana Sanchez sa friendly match no nsa ebo mu bi what na better so international friendly way a yebo ediem say nyaman way a me philosophy ani dia me pesa me no ana bebo Nigeria for nkasa enkonko face international friendly matches emfa ma no Nigeria for better asia wo be sign contract edia momo afe youth development programs outdoor any training camps ana yeso mo ye se ne be ya enkoda ni nyini ba yina no no aja chele ehwem na tese oye adwuma no ede momo afe so or travel to abroad eno aye se wo be scouting for players any ade enti eno so se Nigeria for ne tiase se ne be o mbe boa no watutu kwan no akwa scout Nigeria for nkoda ni ade afe o here interference bia so aye ne Celestina sada say youth side o say junior side o and say be senior side o kwabno so first lesson ma ama Nigeria federation pay me be ma ka chance ajetele we dey nkesusu so ye ni say nka opem was Nigeria for better as a contract no be sign anso ha was afi we hia staff so ni ombe ya adwuma na staff o ni ombe be ya adwuma no so no so mu nyina kama ata so ni ombe timi aye adwuma ene pro no recommendation wo mu gituma eno so opem ave staff no dey omo no kwabna enya fina wadi omoba omuntu omko wase so omuntu obia kana ka transfer atrem emu 31st 30th pepe no obia sika edna account mu enu ya ja chere no wo wi enso a wase ade ase bonuses ni allowances na ngode nyina no na federation assistant no one assistant coach and ne backroom staff no kwabna say ye pepe ye ndito obia ade so ana men kwankwa ye na jodi twatofo akra de ma Nigeria for ye say kwabna wase ni sika ni nyina ne backroom staff and ne assistant coaches ne technical staff no mu nyina sika aya $130,000 per month. $130,000. Any score so up him. So many nyina man why not? Obaba be yadwuma is very simple cry. Sana already no dada nyina wadi 50,000 is there. Ajade chele chese watum. Ndi bato Nigeria for no eno aya dia chele dia kwa komo mo se wo mo ye demand dia contract the sense no oba ye na fe wato aso ni Nigeria football no enso aya adwuma eno nkoba kakwa ne na another Benfica for so yeso ma submit aya complaint ade ekọ aya UEFA no mo tese Federico Valverde wodi niamo ho sembi ade to mo abrantan dia de da na once kwabna bobi ne ayi bi na ma ase oto ne nsa bi sa de ba abrantan no yese Benfica for sa tase ne de Madrid fo ahu ene yese Madrid for sa no mo kade a wo man kasa de complain ko UEFA sa o mu game no mo boy no anka be o mo mfa sa game no mo fi o mani ye pa na wo mu hwem ye because na no da Fedi Valverde aya de di tia o mo abrantan de de da na sa de no mo ye in fact o mo Benfica for nya de so mani je ho ento mo de sa asam ne de ko mo so mo twan dia aye UEFA enso ede baba while reporters yanka mo bi anta say Barcelona future plan no say ebia Barca ebeto player kese anaso mo to player kese no what say who be here say eso mo to player kese why not omo are prepared say we medi say twa no enti pato wo ye Barcelona fan dia modern president and the tutor e odumadi so no na Mikel Arteta and ye be say ni players no and the press of mentality say and also onyame anim ne kwabna criticisms wo ho ana afe so bobo na ne man koya anya dia obi ebe say ni opinion what say niema koya kwabna so obi ama me so opinion fan tro and this obi ha say so kasa na dem say niema bi nkoye enti na tese o mo kasa enti wo ye player ana so kan team ho ya so many sansem no na fe so ho kwan abefa so no wedi person so say this level of football no wo person obo na wo ya de ye pa dia sa niema ni nyina ka ho under pressure no say wo memene ano ana so take bullet say niema ya ebetumi abo ma team na fa ne ntoma pa edefe eno ya Arsenal head coach Mikel Arteta enkoba kakọ ni tudwane no na yase madda kodana ni dia de Thiago Pitard no won say na no da avara balu adinisiaka na kwabna wonim say nipa nyo so nipa papa yase Xabi Alonso ho no akoda we no hwe ne ball no onim ni ball ano kache abalu asabalu anana kase ana head coach ano kache nse sa Pitard na akoda ni mbo de bonti no o mane oni senior team ni na me training kwabna yase abalu amunu ye osikum ado say akoda dey ready ana yes say be say amena me wo senior side ho akoda me nso betumi aboma ne mra yes da bia belo ase da bia akoda no onya ready nti yes o mo twe ho a even training kakra ne senior side ne aye no yes e be ye grudge kakra e ba da Zabi Alonso ani Rawu aye ye kan sa velo abelo antem kwabra omugya Zabi kwama ne koya wo abelo a obaya nano da de Peter da ba be sia kai ana ma de fo de say ei ne papa de wan so de papa de ei na nyo na nano da akoda we ma ne mra so wanya ready na wo mo ntwan kakra na se papa ikoye anybody sometime bi anima obeka se no ana ma akoda na ye ready wenim so wono ankasa akoda we wo ba juvenile ho na juvenile a na wono na ma ne ball ne first game ansa na kase na ankasa abelu ya na ma akoda ne ball ne first game after the senior side abelu ya na ama na ball ne first game team abelu so chese with my brand no at the time Zabi Alonso the time no ene nkoma kakwa so efi Madrid akate edi aba Dani Kofi Omo ede nkoma kakwa da to do ebisa no aba Hans Flick ano chese Hans Flick na mu hu ne sa no papa no anya se no hunju sa o ebia ma adweyam so ebia Hans Flick de o de Barca force no so da bi anya sa na te nyame anim nie ye wotama obeba na Hans Flick ani brabre e o players no so no se wo kasa wotimi church o mu nyina beta anya dia abiri problem bia enso ebeba enti se bia wo weche na hu se as ebia Barca for no ma fa fofo le ani ade ade o se da bi ye wotama Hans Flick e rezi aye no voice e wo tim no som santam no or coming down depending on the situation and afenso no ade say oka aye English no and to one players no edin kobo was no atoda bi oka English na da be so oka German no na chese ni buafu was who's Hans Flick edwapa no asase ka the German language no ba so mo header and just say babanti no adum ayan koba kakwan so a Dani Kofi Omo edi eba odumade so no chese o sisi ne football no ade ba ko beka esese Barcelona apeso mo gi Champions League o say so mo Saniama essence Barcelona current situation there Jafanti UEFA Champions League and yankoba kakwan so Dani Omo ade eba wodwumade so and auto so ade ba ko say siso o woni good moment name the best of ono and bona obone de enya de say aba for now was so woni good moment emo bona woni mboye pa no yantwen kakra ni nyina ente na aba ane ebisa so pepra too much eya wo ne we play no so nyame anim ne pra no asam de enye so ye fragile player as a player nimpom ye mre ene ade ade o se da bi nya sa na te na ade bi wo ha pra bi wo ha wontimi nsia no kwan wo bi wo be pim trofo bi a tase wo ye hu hia enye ye edo na ma eya ade sa pra na ade eba na onye inji pro player no ankoba kakra ni ano tase na no do mo na Atletico Madrid wo mu game no mo boy pa wo kubasi game no di enti na tase va be twen sa ansa na va be take decision na atime take decision wo se basa e ma football no the good side of it no na eyayira ene yankoba kakra so ade tuta e wodumade so na no pe no ye de on sam kakra ade dan ye bi san se ene se baso na ye sam cheni mu style of play no se style of play ya de ade 4 trophies afi na mba baka se encheni na so de abi we hu ni se so mu cheni baso na style of play no yankoba kakra so Dani Omo ade eba e wodumade so me pato World Cup trophy no matese na Argentina ameno ada kopie matese ja wo nso edi hu nkoba kakro mu yi kire ene ye reporter eba odumade so na opanya ne dinade Mark Seria na Mark Seria se yanka mo biante se so be Barcelona president or so a candidate what is a Barcelona photo about man say Kim campaign and what has no what did Lionel Messi beba what the Erling Haaland Ediom beba no omaba bebo ma team na niam so akoye ediamom ene reporter men seka awodumade so na no pe no me si etire kakra edi abana mami nko Morocco kakra kwabna high court o Morocco Rabat etese wo manteli 18 Senegalese supporters now no da AFCON na ya boy no wo msi ne nkofo bebre ho mo ye ne mo ho sem atese o mageli o na emu mako 9 kwabna 1 year jail centers anom dia ma emu mako 6 wo mso de 6 month ana emu miensa enso 3 month ti ene ye de eba na wo mo tese mfata de we de Morocco fo ade ya manya ya na se mode fa ho e de atwetwe nkrofo aso ne ade ene reporter eba ebra ne ko Leo Messi nso twani eno ada Europa League no kwabna matches ni bi ebeba so Stuttgart ene Celtic Stuttgart SS Celtic entrana wo mutimu ba ko Celta Vigo ekose Pau ana Kagent ekose Dynamo for entramiansa Northern Forest ekote Fenerbahce ekomutumprem ana afe Ludogorets enso ete Ferencvaros ebo machili nso no Crevena de ekobo macho matara ba comment bante eno ane matches ni bebre no so etodwa ewodumade so ebre ni afent no ma yemfansi etena yaba dia ka bia no so no yebedandan mu e de amamo enti kwabna me de wasia
na challenge zo pesoko
oh challenge say nyako
ni demands ni bi outrageous
oh David kwabna outrageous say
bi outrageous
David no bi atietie obi a wo so no the target is so be coach mad de dia abna say
sentina me ka say bia no pesoko
okay
anya sa demands no de ama Nigerian Football Federation no ebi tasu mu pa ebi nso tasu mu kra ebi too outrageous
say you be too kwan
a hold me problem
business class
any problem
sa na de na wo
me problem here say association no entimi nyina ono no so like let's say Ebian Kemfa Ghana Football Association near Zambia.
Ebia mo international.
Ebia kobo for any game.
I was say so.
GF ntimi enkase ye kobo for any game. This one no sanction answer. Na the national to Nidia.
What say we mu na ye no mo but so na ye coach.
Now when I coach decision bi an
na technically on the way ni.
Ntidia.
Mo ka nyina mu ni. To the technical no dey.
Agwa basoko. Basoko nti. Nigeria for ni hena. Omunya no kwa ma no.
Na nya asema 19. Hey papa yi. Okay.
Ebi ho task me bi ho me no green abro ni ama so and I think say kwasi ye ni ne ko na minya kwa kweto I say there ma kweto obetimi akọ. All right. Yen to adwumadie no so inshallah 4.5 na no. Yen started adwumadie no with them. So them energy drink. Me patro Trillium for na diaba. Oma and the rush energy drink a buy say the latest market no Vim champagne energy drink. Na atie for on said no me catch them. So on say a buy na Trillium for so Richard Udi but na on so nom sane be ya o ka ho asema obetumi aka ye. Na atie for me nom Vim champagne energy drink ni wie no betumi say yes. We a latest ampa so ano hye papa we obi a we adwuma kakra bi na fatigue achew obi okura undimi nante hane obre me pacho eno anu so de obenya ayevim energy drink ni bi na onso atimi anom so de na ration ni tie we kura de ache for a triple so vitamins wom ginseng ni bi wom sanso ena caffeine ni nyina no ebi wom kama na we de ye adwuma triple awu ye adwuma na bra ana fatigue hawa eno anu so benya bi na onso watimi anom sada medical kan no we enso a quality product from Trillium Industrial Limited na the attendant say it gives you vim ebe ma vim ama onso no watimi aye adwuma kama pa o pedido 2 na wakwa akoton 0322190877 na waji aye vim energy drink ni bi na onso watimi anom nyame ya odoma 25th at the coping 27 next week ya adna Ashanti region 2026 interschool super zone no and so eba so the attack no aye super zone na on the defending champions remember na from no Prempeh College na Prempeh for so ma prepare pa in fact only teams na am qualify eba aye season din komo say said yes ya bobo ehwan de ba afu we season no anya asem kito kra enti next week ya Baba Stadium nyame adama 25th at the copim 27th and na ayedwumadie no enso eba so abokuma se Baba Stadium tino akuma se ni anhya no so na yenye ready yen lazy miam yen lazy ebuturum ho na nyame adama next week no obi amfa no support and command school na bibia anya kama enso enfama school so am so eba aye suzono na atie for the tennis dwumadie aye best brain publications o madama and na amone aye Kora sports consult enso akabuma amdo bisika wuram ama afi suso no mu bɛdɛ pa na ɛbɛyɛ interested nso so na atiefo deɛ ɛtɛne sɛ ɔsɛ best brain deɛ ɛba no buku pa sɛ akwadaa yi sua na exams biara ɛbɛba ɛyɛ ɔno nso no afam biara no watumi atwerɛ atwa ne yie paa deɛ a ɛyɛ best brain publication books no bi ɛna ɛsɛ wotɔ baatan tobi ma aba no na ne exams no ɔntwerɛ ntwa no kama so wasi wobɛtwerɛ twa no bibia kama bc no ne adeɛ koraa deɛ ɔwu ɔbɛtetene pa ɛbɛba no yɛ sɛ ɛnko a ne sesa so saa enti ɔwofoɔ bi a wotie me biara no asan sɛ nyame adom asusuo no ɛmba so ɛyɛ 23 yi no wotɔ book ama ɔbɔfoɔ no sua ɛwɔ school a mpakyɛw ma no ɛnyɛ best brain mepakyɛw ɛyɛ na wɔfrɛ number yi na wɔgye nkyerɛmu bi a ɛkyɛn wei 0507 200 200 and afei 0504 200 300 ɛno ahonsɛm no ɛna mede ama ɛwɔ dwumadie no ɛso cancer misha mepakyɛw ɛyɛ aduru a ɛwɔ dwa so na wo a wotie me wo maame bi wo papa bi anaa wɔfa bi acomplaini ade akyerɛw anaa bi mpo wadamfo bi ɛna aka kyerɛw sɛ ɔwɔ hɔ a yɛa ne honam taa yɛ ne ya ne mpom ne nnompe ne ɛwɔ ne nipadua no mu no wɔte sɛ mu ɛyɛ ne ya paa obi wɔ hɔ a awɔ se aso ho obi sɛ wo bones no wote sɛ kyerɛ sɛ pains no ɛnyɛ easy koraa excruciating pain paa ɛna nso wotumi ɛkɔm mpakyɛw ɛba saa wode tum da da koraa because cancer to hɔ a kyerɛ sɛ wonum bi a ɛbɛtumi aboa wo na saa pains ɛyɛ wo no a wokɔm no nyinaa no ɛto aseɛ deɛ ma me se aduro no yɛfrɛ no cancer misha enti kɔtɔ bi na ɔnso ɛnom trust in Jehovah clinic ɔmadama ɛnom de saa aduro yi ɛde aba ɛyɛ dwa so ana ɛwɔ takwa ɛsɛ kuma sɛ wokɔ atɔnsu market a aduro no bebree tobi nanom wotɔ ano atobi akɔmu obi a ɔno nso saa ɛhaw no bi ɛwɔ no so na ɔno nso no ma ne ho ɛntimi ɛntɔn pakyɛw woba sɛ ɔfrɛn na wogye aduro no bi na ɔnso wokɔ nom a number no yɛ 0244 871 862 mepakyɛw ɛno yɛ number a wobɛtumi ɛne ɔmo adi nkɔmmɔ no extra cash no nso megu so a meka wo sɛ wo phone no so wonya download yi wode a ɛne ɛyɛ ne ntɛm paa na ɛdownload ɛyɛ extra cash nso ɛwɔ ɛyɛ wo phone no so sɛne ɛbɛyɛ a wo nso ɛkɔba ne sɛ emergency bi aba na wohia sika so ho ɛde asɔto ho a mepakyɛw ɛno an sɛ wobɛkɔ ɛyɛ extra cash hɔ na wakɔbɔ bɛsia ɛde afiri hɔ na ade akɔ sɔvo ɛyɛ wo problem na wopɛ sɛ ɔyɛ registration na mepakyɛw simple koraa sɛ woafa phone a yɛn starte star 170 hash star 170 hash mepakyɛw choose option 5 sign call anim biem the next option no choose option 3 na afei deɛ twa toɔ koraa last krenkren na wode ɛyɛ activation no ɛno nso choose ɛyɛ option 5 na ɛfa activate ɛyɛ extra cash no sɛdeɛ mede ka kyerɛ m no ɛyɛ forms capital ɔmo ɛna de extra cash yi ɛde aba ɔbɔ besia no wia mpaakyɛw mesrɛw ne watua ghanafoɔ no bi ɛwɔ mu sika no ɛneɛ wɔkɔgyea no ho dendendendendendendenden ɛnya de sika no ma no wie sɛ kim ɛno ano no ɔntua obi wɔ kuro tumi yi ne chip mesrɛw saa attitude yɛnyae ɛno nti na ho yɛ ne duruma bi a ghana saa nneɛma no yɛnya bi wɔ ha no ɔgye a tua sɛne bi a ɔkyena bi no wopɛ bi a wobɛtumi asa akɔ akɔgyena bibia no ayɛ kama ɛnso ɛde ama wo mepakyɛw ramadan na mu ne awura no ɛnora ɛna yɛnnuanom nkramofoɔ 1 month fasting no ɔmo ɛde ɛhyehyɛ so yɛmpaa ne sɛ nyankopɔn bɛma ɔma ahoɔden na ɔmo nso atumi ayɛ no kamakama paa ɛno nti yɛwɔ the month of a peace and a love ɛno nti no ɛyɛ adeɛ a electoral ghana limited say richardo ka kyerɛ obiaa ɔtie dwumadie yi sɛ electoral ɛno nti no yɛnso yɛ nneɛma no nyinaa from krankran to krankran yɛate no nyinaa so yɛbɛ so obiaa nso tumi wura electoral showroom biara no nso ɛtumi kɔtɔ nneɛma mepakyɛ wotie mi a sɛsi a meka sɛ nasco tv no nasco tv aba 699 ɛnu 700 cedi mpo 699 akɔgye ne ntam saa nso ɛne ba no ɛyɛ bottom fridge air freezers no ɛno nso ɛyɛ 1999 na ɛsɛ nuru 2000 na deɛ ɛnyɛ fridge akɔsu dɛm saa nso na chest freezer ɛno nso the same 1999 ɛnu 2000 open washing machine papa Samsung one no and also 2999 there's an also new 3000 hey and your man I fu say open Samsung microwave nindina atiefo ya tete bono so TCL aye TV no so 43 inches and also abba aye 2999 a new 3000 and your man I fu say electronic yamin shrabo aha munye ni say ya no obi etimi srabo say de obi ni excuse obi abi si ebe wura wo dem pa na me microwave asai na me TV kra na me main no ma se mesrew e say the electronic say manti we die manti aye nuanum kramufo do om yafunu eto wa manti watebo no so say hyi wuram awo electronic showroom bia na onso kotom ne ma ne bi na bibia anye kama enso emfa emmaw me patro no pa bia no o breakfast no ma ne chokolim do hia aye nsuo say open nsuo nwunu ana open nsuo hia bibia wo mu dada creamy ewom so ha sanso na sugar no enso ewomu na bibia so chocolate na we dia Ghana cocoa nya yanum dia bia Ghana cocoa papa bi na de ayo chocolate ti anopa no nkwada no ebe ko school na family ni na no matrase na my set na some breakfast no se bread o se hwan yo na mo de amache ayo chocolate no na se day no enso etimi ayo complete enti o snack time no so the same thing na chocolate e say dia do aye de papa packaging nso ehye enti ya na so enjoy at the taste that feel goodness and no a chocolate na bibia nya kama informa de twatwo no every IMSEC mining and engineering training school at here for school American one semi awo oboase ensa adwuma etuaka kusuku a uwia job market ne bejo ntem enkoye course abewi na afei school fees a ekotua ndina basa emfaso bia maso because ehun adwuma ni Ghana so o sa betena fi na obe home am no papa nim asamaba so ntimi so I'm so kede ukona akwaji training 3 months or 3 months ni uwie ya benya adwuma ebetua kaye obetua awuram wo construction na mining na se bibia kama enti wordnam fabrication ye ho make us saying sanso na said the operate excavator bulldozer grader backhoe roller forklift dump truck ni dina no 3 months na odi awie ye hosa kese suku na wo boase zongo Hines and building a chion mo pe enti bia na ufre chichiri ana wo boase abesua bia any problem your hostel alba nya baby di uti ato no aba besua wade kama pa ye besa ma niam bibiri license no mani ade na se bia kama nti patro ni je ho se wo peso okosua de bia na wa frɛ 0539 732 766 ano aye number mpamcho obetimi ene aye IMSEC company for ade din komona fa bibia no ay kama dia ma no akodo ntete 3 months na obi on sheda nche ewo school mo kra no pay amo na thank God it's Friday amo aso yasenati for yede jumadie no and so ede bremo okay Moses I say madanse anami difa vim energy drink no so wadanse ni bi na I say I can testify for the vim energy drink it's very good enti atie for sa afede ma hu na se mi say trillion for no ade no mo launch ye na no mo de bremo ha na mbubo bi ade ne kama pa enti ubanum energy drinker o de ofre na mo ton no no aka chen so ma vim ni bi na onso na bibia anya kama emfa emawo yen started jumadie na asene discussions no I say every Friday bia no ya de to from boko na ya ye a round table discussion so efie ni eyamoni ni nanti and so ya santo so na ya ye round table discussions no fifi Manfred wo ha sanso na Bismarck owusu bempa yala and so awa ha Kofi good morning
Rich
now to say
nyame adom ho ye pa so so
oh nyame adom
great
why come home office ke bu of my kan Kofi minu nyina na koba
but this is exactly how I've looked. In fact, this last few months no, but this last few months has been more stressful than anything because the animal will be on my
and there be as all my stress in about
because like you see I'm
back pain
You know.
And me away pa.
Me very very careful with me push. I was like, you know, me 9 pm, so I don't get to rest my back. So they say, and
Yamubu na ni man.
me try no pass. Ebi away in and kawa just stay in my anka we boy me. Me try no pass. So I was say, I have to shoot and shoot, edit, upload, market the content, and throughout the whole day. And plus we have a drive around in farm and now I'm a little bit, but
Maybe I be fine.
of course, make sure you're adjusting. Every now and then be as a stress ni kwa pa ni as a be resting.
Maybe I be fine. So uzu peska bibiri nye di obi huni. Ska bia peso di bia dey.
Manya ne sa de bia me for say pay 200 man no pesa.
Ede nka obo. Ala, good morning.
Good morning.
How to say?
Oh, nyame adome ho ye pa.
Ede am say. Okay. Yesterday, yan discussions no from free Arsenal and opay Bukayo Saka Arsenal no contract at the ama Arsenal bobo by no crowd ye. And no sheda enye ade ampese ye hwe but eno starting komo bi mpese ye san toa eye enkomo no so with Arsenal title ambition ehuto mo afi I mean so obvious starting season no obi a follow Arsenal team ni bia na feed ye on beso the Premier League because Oma noki doors no and so ache and omufu say afibu we so the Premier League na it should be this year anyasa ebia na league no ne je na timi aidin e dia but it looks like for the past 5 games or more no nanse no as a result no instead we draw no money wins be 2 bi ni mu a ama Arsenal team no points are as en komusu timi nyana etimi emo munya grips na je league na say afom no ba and na eba and e be fu sama omo title ambition no jeopardize kakra e be fu so too early because ye can kra no league table na still na 5 points in them though say Arsenal about 1 game ahead of teams na kan but teams na kan kra even Man City no money chase no the game against Newcastle no will be a game obia betumi awini game for example ebia Yakobo game no na Newcastle akɔhye Man City still na 5 na and them enti omo kase Arsenal entimi NG league na so omo title ambition no and so in jeopardy no omo enisa for no enya adwene pese sa to asan komo so na yehwe se Arsenal omo betimi agi league no ana omo entimi NG this time I know I shall say the free coffee so and me shall say the free Bismarck Owusu Bempa Ayala ho na yahwe say san komoye gina he Arsenal so my league no and jeopardy and I say still now no is on course Arsenal bet me at the league no and so at the SC omana so ya me shall say free Arsenal team no
I no kwese dodo na jiri se Arsenal wo year bia I was on the Premier League na I was say this year. I was say this year simply because o share Arsenal project na no omo ye na en kakran it seems say afe na project no aboa no ye pa and beyond project na aboa no ye no also o share the trajectory of Arsenal opponents in the Premier League na omumbo mo modern enti the ebema waka say oh Arsenal beji league no say league ni omo ngwa na omo bo omo ni afofo na ebo enu nti no say Arsenal beji league na match will depend on omo opponent na so ahoden vis-a-vis the Arsenal betimi aye and enkofo gidi say wo hwe Arsenal omo opponent be say Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea West End the Tottenham money at the Mobaka. They've not shown enough quality, consistency, any BBI DG league enche Arsenal. Nti nkofo giri se Arsenal na omo likely to win. Nemum no ede na ye kofa agitations ne ba. For me, I no man nkiti bi. Ndi edi kan. Arsenal G Premier League na che. Omo G bi ache. And yes, omo G bi ache no. The history is raw say they don't compete. There are sometimes Arsenal had competed. Omo abo bra class omo tinye win Premier League no. Then they bottle it. A lot of the times. And they've already created a certain impression. And it's our impression of my creating. And one comfort him so continuously. Arsenal ne character niye. That is the reason why. Even in the year where Arsenal opponent seems to be weak. Say Arsenal Istanbul Kakrebia. They give people flashbacks. Say,
Arsenal no come.
The new one go for you. And omo yabe yana. That has been the problem. Now, beyond that, Rich, say Osha numbers in so HSA Arsenal must set up. The first numbers points are Arsenal are dropping from winning positions. Yera unse obiasi obeji league. Ye ni bukefa and obeji league. So we are playing the 2025-2026 season, but forget about match boy in 2025. Careful ye bunu in the year na ye be league now. In 2026, since I year 2026, Rich. Only Oliver Glasner of Crystal Palace and Nuno Espirito Santo of West Ham and are dropping points from winning positions than Mikel Arteta. Omumi onu nyina drop 8-8, Arteta drop 7.
That is bad.
Exactly. Kisa Upe League Nadia. You don't join this category.
You West Ham league nyawe.
Yes.
Crystal Palace league nyawe.
Yes. And you don't have to give games that only the own drop points from winning positions. Simple, sir. And when it is say you are among the worst 3, it is bad. For be our ambition as huge as Obasa Okoji League, you know. Rich, and yeah, no go. Almost a Pijawi. To win the league, you must win matches. To win matches, you must score goals. To score goals, your strikers must turn up. Arsenal biggest problem back home, and I said, Rich, the strikers, you know, are not consistent. And I said, Oshe live score, omo updates na omo diama on Victor Jokeres na airtime. 0 shot on target in 60% of the games.
That
is it.
Let's go back from. I thought try getting you.
That is so no good enough. And see, so share. Yes, Nana Arsenal ben Premier League no hubiano. The analysis and the criticism to Arteta, they say, no, Yamfaka vet in G League no. Gabriel Jesus mono, omunya typical strikers of Memo. The number of volumes of goals are we here to go over the line and win the league finally. Then they start bringing examples. Mr. Erling Haaland more. Any teams of the Premier League and how their strikers contribute to some winning league. You know, it informed Arsenal to go to Sporting Club de Portugal to bring in Vitor Gyökeres and say, now, enye force na manaya semo. Enye Gabriel Jesus Onseda Mbobo as a typical striker, target man. Now we've brought in a typical center forward. Evito Jokeres. Rich, what did you buy? 60% of the games that were in the Premier League. Rich, always 0 shot on targets. That's not good enough. And Arsenal, I was say Omuye and Onsusumu Bibi. And you know, Rich. Now you move to points are you're winning in the final 12 games. Or English Premier League in him. And this data is put together by Sky Sports. Rich, se ushe every year bia since 2021-2022 season now. That is where Arsenal won the problem. So I wanted to two paper. And me also say her numbers now. And can be chill. In the 2021-2022, there be willing away. The other one now on the paper in our graphic in the points won in final 12 games now. Rich, in the last 4 seasons, clear. 2021-2022, Arsenal 18 points out of our last 12 games. Pep in 30. The following year, Arsenal 21 points. Pep in 31. Even the best Arsenal have done in the last 4 Premier League seasons, 2023-2024, only 31. Still, Pep in 32 out of the last 12 games. The last season, Arsenal had 21 points, Pep had 27. And to say, ever say, young finish harder. One of the major reasons why Arsenal ain't teaming winning league, is how they finish the league. And over Kaya, I think it was it the last 2 seasons now? I'm going to say a party. He said, ne form ne depay.
Satan no proud.
Yeah, be both season every year, and I feel circle prior. The absence of common Arsenal team in the giant cry. Now, Rich, statistics say can watch MCCA. It's one of the reasons why Arsenal actor a lot of players within their squad. And statistics way, and I'm Arsenal Eddie Ezeba say, "O make team no." And statistics way, and I'm Arsenal coach Chelsea. Ekoto no ni madweke say, in the absence of Bukayo Saka, we will need somebody to come in. I had the same statistics. And I'm Arsenal added Victor Jokeres. I had the same statistics. And I'm Arsenal the Encape Bayer, even though they already had Louis Kelly and Calafiori. And yes, our statistics we are. And I'm Arsenal. A beefy up the team no the way I'm beefy no. Bring in Zubimendi. Still now no more Kofa no Gadaba. Say Omet now. They have backups to Omutim no. Simply because they believe that in the last 4 seasons, Omube Mubia a pra dip of form. Omo squad na emunye duno na akosi omo the English Premier League. And they've worked on it. I think the last one will be Rich. Say a couple of obia bottle. It simply means one are they no ekuta sa afei wode be kwa wie no na wa jam enti minim so the final winner this season. Rich, one with the number of 90 Arsenal at the top of the Premier League. 147 nights. Yebe biano na Arsenal at the top of the Premier League. Rich, omo akano baku kwenu obey Arsenal the ball. The next is Liverpool, 34 nights. Arsenal 147. The next, so he handed the 47. That's not crano. Obian Pundru. And when people say Arsenal will eventually bottle it, this is what they mean. Say it to me more the whole season. Rich, now at the top of the Premier League, 147 nights in Premier Kasai. Now the what them took a Kirby crown only na share glory no. And Liverpool only 34. Man City has said nay, Obet League never wins. Rich, this season 2025-2026 season, they've only been top of the Premier League ninth only 6 times. 6. And at Chelsea 2. Why will you bottle this kind of dominance when it comes to league, you know? And see, these are the conversations. Now, Medima knows, you know. For me, Rich, I didn't see that Chelsea be 2-0. Now Elizabeth is 2-2. It will not cause any uproar. City Bebo games. Not only the 2-0. Me I bet it 2-2. Because this City team this season and yet Arsenal Kwakuyebia. Not Obi Akanwasem. Do you know the reason why people expect them to win the league this season? Yeah.
Okay.
And comfort else, but say Arsenal must win. And I still maintain, say, Rich, Michelle games now for Arsenal now. And I think the games are also within the graphics, you know. Games now Tottenham away, Chelsea home, Brighton and Hove Albion away, Everton home, Bournemouth home, Man City away, Newcastle home. Rich. Omua Arsenal any omu pre-league, you know, and Man City, they have a date with them.
Yeah. Oh, it's hard.
Me say this season in big games. So only Arsenal big game, bah. So only the park so about a big game, you are not better than them.
Okay.
Especially in the context of English football, you are not better. And the sacrifices now can Arsenal no more pre-league in any game, bah. Then you can pick your points outside and come and win. But so only one game no go there, Rich. Now on what points above you, Rich? I still maintain say this Arsenal team will win the Premier League.
John Frimpong want to say, I like you guys. Good work. Watching live from Germany, Bremen, and now also showing the FE. Sylvester Mensah. Also at the moment, both Arsenal and Man City have their own destiny in their hands. Win all the remaining matches and win the English Premier League. But as things stands now, City will be high on how to win than Arsenal. Okay. O message out there, Abraham, and no. Me faba ku infentra to na fifi enso ebrem. Ya Renchi say, let me say this once and for all. Arsenal can win the Premier League. Not this century. If a games will you know.
Me compare me listen no.
Yeah.
Bet you know.
Bet.
Yeah, compare.
So for you say 4 na 3.
I some more compare too many.
Because me I think Baku UK.
We're down for
Hustler
yes.
JKD.
Then there was one also the dollars be buy.
I know ye nka say nua Kwabena Abramovich. No so $100
buy.
And I wish you £100. 50
so
50 who ni pa no wen.
Obi so say obeba.
Who dey only no. £1,000.
Yeah. Ten mood oh.
I'm sorry, some ko bompa na.
It's your compile list no.
Arsenal to me. And I am Ben. Sano yogurt.
Yeah.
Or also 2K.
Yes. It's young compile list no.
Sure.
Na yenyo mo contacts. On send e be ya. Yenyo betime din sa was work. Na do be din yon kunu yetimi a contact ni a discount. Yes, re mo a.
Kojo said from Virginia, US, Samuel Echampo says Arsenal bottle the league again. Yate. Yon come na mo messages am do mo ya ba no. Makande amam kofi also bright na Arsenal sense me unsu gina hen still na no. Unsu maintaining say Arsenal be league na only omo ka say Arsenal bottle league no ya adwen.
Oh, I think say Obika say Arsenal bottle league na Odika. I don't think that that's a wrong statement to make, especially at this point in time.
Okay.
Why do I say that? Because there
is
is
5 points in them.
Yeah.
Seasons ye munyi.
Exactly.
To would the DNA gina so aka Arsenal lose game. And also lose league no.
There is enough evidence in the last 5 years that shows that this Arsenal team say do the crucial and critical movement where they have to win. And a clear-cut example was 2 seasons ago, last season, where they have to turn up and win the league, they just don't do enough. So maybe win the league. You know? Rich, last season, it was a season and I say Manchester City have fallen off. It was a new Dutch manager from the Eredivisie that had taken over the Liverpool team. In fact, if there was a time where people were more expectant that Arsenal would win the league, it was last season. But Ibra, Martin Odegaard, Bukayo Saka, centre backs, all of these things cost Arsenal the league. 2 seasons ago, similar story. 3 seasons ago, similar story. In fact, in the last 4 seasons, Arsenal have come second place. So Arsenal is second place this season. It means that a 4-peat of second places. So anybody, I will say, hey, Demano, so Bejiatum, Arsenal beating League, and he is waiting until the last day of the season, has a valid point. And we can't even overstate it. Because there are real things that Arsenal are here, and there is empirical data, and down my chest, Arsenal for they always flatter to deceive at a crucial moment. And you see, another thing is this, Rich, in the last 4 games, Arsenal have had the chance to have gone top of the Premier League in 9 points. Since 2004. That is from the Bournemouth game coming, Aston Villa game coming. There have been opportunities. And Liverpool managed Man City, they would have gone 9 points on top of the Premier League. With all the number of days that Ayala mentions that Arsenal for another top, they've not had 9 points, which would have been a much more comfortable gap. Somebody that's on them. The highest they've gone this season, I think, is 7. They've had 6. Tiababa 5. It can possibly go to 2 because City were 1 game in hand. Yeah. And that probably will be the least in almost 2 months. Arsenal drop Yako. So there is enough. But at this point in time, the very things that's not a trouble Arsenal 4 seasons ago, Rich, you've taken time to solve all of those problems. Arsenal are solving the problem of depth. Where ene se Martin Odegaard pra. Maybe I just said Mikel Arteta na a little bit too stubborn, but a better Chiesa is good enough to play there. Even at centre back, here there are certain games where Arsenal have not even used Christian Norgard. He's on the bench, very experienced in the Premier League, and there are certain games where he could be very, very important to Arsenal team. Today in their midfield, they don't have Mikel Merino, who I think said in the tactical side of the game they've missed him because of much more physical ability as compared to Martin Ibanez Zubimendi. But there are certain games where if Arsenal really wanted to shut up shop to say match, 2 days ago matching against Wolverhampton Wanderers, it shouldn't have been Martin Ibanez Zubimendi. It should have been Norgard and Declan Rice in the middle. Some of the small things that probably Mikel Arteta mistakes with, but in terms of the depth, they have it. Which and one thing another 2 days and I make a choice say me. I did me set and say Arsenal and Lucy the margin of error. And when they don't have it. They don't have the margin of error. Why do I say this? Arsenal about 26 games. Man City about 25. This weekend, about the match we are, or about 26, 27. On paper, if you are doing a lot of assumptions because you know Sunday and Saturday, when you look at Man City playing against Newcastle United, Newcastle is a tough team, but Man City now 9 out of 10 times was Shano. So granted, Man City has won the game, like 2 points. Arsenal are playing against a big rival in North London, away from home. Omuba against an Igor Tudor that they don't know how Igor Tudor will set up the Tottenham Hotspur team.
But of late, so in the North London derby,
yeah,
Arsenal both Tottenham for.
But North London derby under Igor Tudor. What about North London derby under Ash Postecoglou? Yeah. What about under Thomas Frank? But you've not played under Igor Tudor. So it's dicey. Yes, in terms of North London derbies, so Arsenal anywhere in North London, they don't know where the Kings. But there is a little bit of a tricky part and the banana peeler. And down to my Arsenal and Shane here, they can lose it. And that is why for me, my insistence is on the fact that Arsenal lose the margin of error. Because if you make a mistake against Igor Tudor, now Ulusu and now drop even 1-2 pointer, it means that Tunisia have a power in points. Then it lingers on. It's rich. Me can about 3 weeks ago say, I don't think this Arsenal issue is down to mentality. I don't think so. I think that even the strongest people, who might the best in your craft, but maybe do not say you are not getting results and even you begin to doubt a few seconds. Are the behavior wrong? That doesn't mean you have a bad mentality. But the say because we get experience, why you be done? And unti say sad doubts in the bar, you can easily say, oh, but obi a rookie na onye be there. When they hit that nosedive or roadblock, they begin to question themselves more. It's the lack of know-how. And Ruti obi answer more about Arsenal. In Arsenal G League be that in the last 5 years, and can people not ask these questions of them? It is because Arsenal have not won in a long time. And consistently they've been the nearly men for a long time. And that is where the problem is. Which Arsenal would So Arsenal may win the league, but the process leading to the league is where the real job is, and that is where the difference making is. Because again, Tottenham must have what it takes as a club because of rivalry between Omoni and Arsenal to sink the ship of Arsenal. 2, the manager in the dugout at Tottenham Hotspur is a known specialist for times like this. Abra Thiago Motta, Juventus for manager, when the Croats came in Inigo Tudor, he did this kind of jobs. Just to build our confidence. Juventus realized that he's not. You see, Ego Tudor is a long-term manager, and that is why their job is to give Ego Tudor 6 months. And the first job in the 6 months, Arsenal are in a critical place. The first job in the 6 months, it's against them, which they would all stay there. But the typical Arsenal fan, in conforming the PTSD of Arsenal breaking their heart consistently, they will need Sunday. They will need Arsenal to go to North London and beat Ego to the 2-0 and come and say that I catch them say it was just a blip. Because we told him maybe when say in this same span I can say Arsenal about 8 games we lose we winning just 2 or 3 no. City and be this season just about 1 month or so ago. City won the same run or we need 2 matches pay. But why are people not questioning City's capability of winning the league? Because City didn't have the know-how. Why did be paying? And again, some Premier League Sky for no data now. Upe Tima, si you do Kev, where they go Korean League now, Onim League ni Gia, Oma see the most pointer. It is Manchester City. So last season, even when they didn't win the league, they amassed the most points at the last stretch of the league. So they have the know-how, they have the ability to win the games, and that is why for me, the most important thing Arsenal would have to do is start with Tottenham Hotspur. Get the job done against Tottenham Hotspur. Gets back onto the playing ground and say that okay, fine, we win again. And for me, until Sunday, anybody that questions Arsenal obviously will have the reason to do so. Then you go again against Chelsea. Then you go again with the next matches. Then Arsenal go and win. For me, the margin of error is gone. As to if Arsenal may win the league or not, they need Sunday to be able to justify that. Still, Omo lead, so definitely they can win, but they need to go on beyond the margin of error.
2 messages for Ayala Nanki Ebefi, but I reacted to sa message me nuna omomutie at the abe first one no aye Isaac Aga. I said please Richardo remind Ayala why he said about Victor Gokers coming to Arsenal. He said that he will score more goals when he joins Arsenal. Now see he can't even score goal for Arsenal. Near first question my person reacted to second one no if you want okay Samson I say earlier this season Ayala was discussing Arsenal defensive solidity. Now please ask him, does he think Arsenal will break that defensive record had by Jose Mourinho Chelsea? Minimum 2 questions here. Reaction Kitu Ebina and Van Refi. First one, Victor Gokres.
I don't think these are questions.
Okay.
I think these are statements.
Okay.
Because you can take your phone right now, go to the Premier League app now. Yeah. You can go to the app, go to statistics. Oko stars now. So club there and so player there, you can simply do it. Say Oko club there, na Oshe goals conceded. You can simply know say Arsenal conceded 20 goals. Mm-hmm. And the 20 goals already atra the Jose Mourinho record. And so there's a question, a statement. Okay. Because there are numbers you can just visit and say, oh, okay, the way they started, no, and along the way, no, goes on concede, no, Oman Timi, Machi Jose Moreno, ne statistics dana or one. Number 2, obviously, Victor Gyökeres was tipped to score a lot of goals, but it seems a goals, you know. Emba, it is true, and so there are numbers. How can you play 60% of your games in the Premier League? Start Yakotosa, you do Babaji League. Rich, now about 0 shot on target in 60% of your goals. You see in football too, if you don't shoot, you don't score.
Sure.
And you say, shot on target, it is clear, say,
okay.
Victor Gyökeres is underperforming per the expectations and all deba. And Arsenal has already considered 20 goals in the Premier League this season, which means Omentimi Jose Mourinho record.
Richard asks Ayala, how much is he ready to bet on Arsenal winning the league? This is Emmanuel Essa. He might believe in them, but Arsenal are not winning it this season. I'm 100% confident.
Any amount you know is ready we are.
Yes, sir. And he
go for the money. I've been quite £1,000.
Fee, and yes, I'm minimum. I know.
What was an offer?
It's an offer. Oh, okay.
Send him out. I'm send him out.
Yeah.
So, Abba.
Yeah. It's okay. So, who is there? One also be better. Aye. It's economy who no na man.
Me mom dey say me biema to blank check. Into some money me dey ah.
Oh, it's our Canada.
Oh, okay.
Canada.
Oh, fasu ga be didi. Ale usura na.
Abi mom dey was get you.
Yes usura undi o.
It was get ba.
But so almost one form team somewhere. That's what they are not doing.
I think I'm so mom interested in say Arsenal and Gilly. Obviously if City. Team Arsenal chasing is man.
So are they saying say Arsenal and City never G?
Say never City and because and yes, there are more options no more than Arsenal.
Oh, okay.
Because on web biatum into one year
one specific Arsenal winning. It was specific. Says Arsenal and Arsenal. I think a friend
was
because what would you say on no Chelsea ni into £1,000 on the Chelsea name.
You close that chapter. Na you nim komo kitu e bi me hye dan chekwe ne. Ye be di Black Stars nkomo ha. Ko company for so ha ye be di nkomo. Etimi adi amamo ye ne amwa automobile. Ye di nkomo no adi atoso kwekwe na fi ya to adwumade ne so adi amamo em se ye wie show bia calls e bam so se we jado safa papa ne bra biem na in fact ne nkomo no ne adwuma oye ne ye ni age ho omra ni nkomo se ne bia enso ye di adwuma e de be contain me so de Mr. Amoaba ye di nkomo tia na fi ye di nkomo aka no etimi adi atom so Zamo, good morning.
Morning, Rick.
Now I want to say
you're not doing now, so
oh, I'm good to chame. Kakra ho ye. Amwa automobile. Ebi obi wa the first time out dey ti onini ana oti bibi from Amwa automobile. Ye ka say Amwa automobile mo ye den dey na mo ye ho.
Meche etiefo nyina omotie mo awo Nhyira FM. Amwa automobile yeah, body wears, a spray car, a learning,
okay,
a polish car, a do my end or no. And our car, so I see a problem or what. You fit a near or you good or you do money in a camera. Okay, a baby be a man.
You started to say, body works in a year. A be a medical and buy and a car home baby at Tichama.
Baby at the
baby up, baby or cry, rusty in the Moody can see,
but Johnny.
Musisi and we are. Na afena na mo de be ko ovinim
ye be fella
mo fella ni na ni wi a
man sana
asana mo de akọ ovinim ana bi a kan kra let's say bi a me crave abruchiri ana de be duru e ni inside don e bi a seat ni ade kra ba bi atetete eno so mo ye line no okay asana mo de akọ show ovinim na mo spray ana ose mo sign e ya ase no
ya si adwuma no ebu ana engine na say asia na zobes ni ba bia anye esi ni na kamade ama enye se bia de adwuma na e ba ho ana ye de akoba bi foforo ye bibia ho no
nti say me the car na ba from body works lining spraying
air condition
na mo ye ho bibia wo the same enye say bia de kwa ba
last week me better ha no papa bi fa number no frame me
okay
obey ma me esi air condition ama no che say oda masesa
wow
bibia
wow I see na ebasi anza na odi obi adwen say ene say omonum body engine
I'm automobile there ya bie ye pono na to
because one of these days our bar show so your point ya na mini people US no frame no say Richardo tama mu yini video no se me hwe the ovi no de kan ko shim na even America agra no undan hu bi za na ene say ne bo de engine nti o dam so enye hu za
obi o ba ho asana ohu no tina won say me betra bia no masama discount cross ayede aka me be say amanfo hu de way si adwuma no hu difference a e wo adwuma ni mo
okay
tinya me adon kura no enche e fi de foforo na yede aba no e be sa hihye no kura ka ho me say be do be e prime in there na install bi bia wi aba be ka no so
nti obi person de ne car ba onye den
oh offer 0244 46 57
64 yes sense bi
0244 46 57 64 se wo free atonsu na eba udro high school junction wa case wo so ba pem so fair junction obedo sandboard kakra case wa mo automobile no refuel ho na eduma wo free mana so na se adwo so na eba udro body junction taxi si wo ba pem so obedo sandboard si wo so wo free kwada so na eba ofaka bisi kroma ofoka eba edwa asikote ya obenya apem so ka
okay
edo beba ho no wana ye adwuma no
okay na omuso omukra ka se de ba no omuso nsem te sen
oh dodo na do modwuma ba
okay
eno de ka ne ba eno na brother ba ko efre me o Canada
okay
se no wo hwe dollars ni bi show ana obisa se kai infa na omusplay no se ama automobile o no frame ka che but me am wan kwa na me hu se bi se adwuma pa no ana obi so eton me ho na etimi ya ko fa dia ban
nti obi ATN na o e car dealer ono akran cars ni fra bruchiri e de ba I say cars ni bi wo ha in most cases e bi e be ba no na accident car ti o ba si ansana bi o e be ton na wa be yusu wa de kura o yusu saafo ni nyina no oje
ya ji obi a oba o car na be si ama no hu kura se car na epem
wow
be a line ni bia e be collect line am ye spray car na si wa to say bro need the area was so ayede aka ho ama odwuma na ye kama
okay
ye bo so nyedin ye bo ne da form aye ye adwuma no so ma wa
me first day I was like me na man tin ya na as what was I confirm am say the process I would kind of firm and sound was spray no e be bia nko more than that because I mean in na say spray kai bia say obi spray car na we even over no kra or the car na be kwa kwachim a spray car no and kra kwachim akọ ho owie ya so no afọ so be for ade ba wo no upon adwuma o ye ni wie owie no sa wax car no
sa da blofo ne adwuma no o spray car ni wie no ma wax car no sometimes ibu na e think to e bia to baby the moment I be wax car no be wie no sa eni na da so kama wo uwie na wo show car na de bia car na ni da ho obi ahu car na ana ye Ghana am ka se di spray car no enye gan bia na de paint gum spray car so wo peduma ni ya na se adam sa metena ka se makoto gan foforo 12,000 na di adwuma
kan 120 million na wo di paint ni gum car no
go car no ti spray car ni we na car ni si wo no ma wo difference e dey e wo adwuma ni mo ni na ka ho na ma adwuma no ana me se obi pese wo de ne baba bi sun adwuma afa ne na mo automobile e be kire na adwuma ama na hu adwuma yi na wotu kwa na okoye adwuma na o hu se baby papa na ne ba na ye de ba ye ama automobile the two South Africa companies be a one Ghana so be a wo pese wo ye okay bia ama automobile
okay
wo hwe APS no na wo bo ama automobile be yi adwuma no so wo pese wo ba wo kuta car edo ba direction the way dey about automobile ye adwuma ye no
nti yensan ema location number ni bi so na de obeso wo kan di twato kra no yemfa twato na
okay ye wapem so Fair Junction so free emena
body amina ho no okay
o fa body na oduru mena on sabla filling station bi o ha o mane se wo ko duduako na somebody kaka esi wono ama automobile so free ko te duduako so na eba o ba o tra bunsu na wonsu ho na ama automobile ho na ye adwuma ye start no pa 7:30 pepe na start adwuma
ano pa 7:30
pepe
sharp
na start adwuma ye mpontem ebu abe 7:30 kura na da so ewo ye adwuma adwuma bo to that me bo night
okay
ye adwuma ma ne ko chi me chia esofu penny Reverend Sylvester opoku aboaji
okay
na me chia me wife Mele amoa okay wo oton box ho
okay
me chia me wofa kojo ejepon ofe ostro na bae na mo fa kwansa pon e ma me pokuya me na mfo amankwa ana Frank e chia omu na 1991 e ma no na me chia obibia
ya me so enhira
me chia me ma no so mo Francis ka amoa ana wa unipa
hey
o show den wo bojo
puba I see
master film nyina Francis ka amoa uli na kwesi me chia omu bia mo frana ya de mo so adwuma no mama adwuma no etime akonane mu
asanteman so dase se wo bayi wo ye adwuma kama ede man ni na nyame nhyira wo
ade ba ko a mesre enua no se enne ne ye nkyira adwuma brother da me ba han be chechim si ebie adwuma ye nkyira ye ma no mo fra no mu kuskwa ye san kyira mo san adwuma no no mti me bo adwuma no mti me mo pa mu yin akese
yadase nti atiefo said the aka no before be kokra no say discount no dey guso e cost 10%.
Me nyantwam
okay
pese nyame yad me register wi an
no yi okay
me bo bia say ya bi school fees no awofo no mo kire wo mo
yadase so odwene
wo beti ma bo mo na amom so
yadase pa nti atiefo said the chechemu no o car no from air condition ase na ayemre na pese ye de ma car no body ye be ni nyina kama ewia ye de akosho ovina ebi ni Ghana ha no ye spray ni kama ewia na ya wax car no de car ni pina wa kra car ni ode ahwe a muze car no e ode ntu friend number na na oni Mr. Amwa edi nkomo na wo do adwuma no ko wa na kama pa enso etimi edi amawo is 11:30 ye mo bonsam no so emfa ema hu se ye nua se Fred atrase ona e kasamafo edema Asante Kotoko Global Supporters Council no ha na no enema nko hidie but hu se minia Fred wa ha sanso na of course this one goes be empire ala ne fifi and so that's why yenye na yenwura ayensem Fred good morning na I want to say
enya kura nso ayeti asinti yeti asinti kwa dasi ne eduma nyankopon emu odin de esunso ba Jaisre.
The guy the last time about before the Kotoko House game, no. Because we are very optimistic. Say we try a yanom, we try a house before home, but I'm for saying,
Rich Metchao with here for and what for. Empa me bam because a baby, which is true. And now obi o kosebiano. Menyini so obi kosa beka se obaba ko lose na yenuane omo on say tete no na yempenifo no omo kokoto on say no kocheche kotoko obom ne anwane na sefo yene ha sa kokoto bo ache de bi ekwa enam no yenya omo ntimi nsokoto no mi to ya na koto no aka no ntomo nti omo nsa mfa nwuram ba ye hun say yenuane omo enti ya chikoto na nya bebrebe enti ese ebo ba akoshe omunsem nti we de kotobo ne yekoye na yehu se enua mpanimfo de bia ya chikoto ni jom enti ebo ba akoma omunsem omumfa enti chi omore kakra but in all this no we need the ya ka de tata homa ne de sure in fact it wasn't an easy task and as a PR practitioner no say they be an me who say me community omutamechi, and the only way we can talk to them is to make them understand say the club that they are supporting no, is always battle ready, and just like I said, unkoko enkase okudinkugo nkugo number, but what lies ahead no is the most important thing.
Na me adon kwa moko wanchi.
Yeko wanchi. Wanchi say you know, on say o mobile league mo share that.
Okay.
Omni abo draw boase o mobile the Median league you know, but wanchi krum ho no o share that. And I don't think this is going to be the time I will lose. In fact, per what I know no, it's obviously supporter base in the crowd no. To be very honest with you, Monday, Tuesday I wasn't able to come out. I was down. Say Bibia Shekie, because losing to Ediana and Haas within a week, it wasn't an easy thing, but life must go on. Yeah. And me entrust me supporters and they say, a CDA, Oshiasia, and Chese baby, Oshias, and I saw that way, so sorry. And I want to use this opportunity, no matter supporters, and I say, in fact, throughout last week, me to almost all the radio stations. And no money na there, but baby, I'm a who didn't bet me I could do. Me suffer almost say here mo, mo. No more heed to our call. Oshaya Sunday no the spectators on mobile page also was excellent.
Sure.
And Oma Makeke, you could see the zeal and the passion and the support.
Gross of 800,000.
Over 800,000.
Yeah.
Aside Rich, side even so ya de dikoto nyapa. We VIP wa de bia hwaima. I can confidently tell you say VIP o mo mutu eskaba VIP no. They are less than even 30%.
Wow.
Yes. Ukojina ukojina VIP main entrance wa. Me na me free ha, me na me boy, me na me de. Won se nipa ne trupia has car ne ba no. Bia videos be nam out bia bu. Even House of Folk supporters na no mdi kan no be a person who said you free. So it had to take the policemen no any team security na no gate na me ohobi. And I say no, at least yama complimentary cars or mo mpenu for the na more supporters no so most more person room free. Enti hard time besre any crewman rich mpenimfo mo sika pa so no go stadium free. Yes.
Omna eze ngomutua no.
Me na me catch omna eze omutua tickets kra obeti tua in multiples of bare millions. But omunyina all the same be so in one way or the other no omu bibi ebu akotoko.
Okay.
But Rebecca say all in one my idea.
Okay.
And I'm pese me da media houses and stations say wo kumasi nyina so ye pese da omase. In fact, you did a yeoman's job. Yatamase pa because Nhyira say maybe by na me frame ni ayala so I want to pass through. No, so Rich you can come.
Okay.
In fact, and you be an memo open arms sir. Sure. Because sebi air time no money.
I didn't board them pa so.
Minim pa because me a media practitioner, my managing media house there.
Okay.
Into minim how important air and from and time is to the publication. Into we jai we nyina ma. And I say, amount time say no supporters in Casa, we need to show appreciation. So we appreciate the work that you did for us, and we appreciate the supporters too. When Chidi Ebeko, and here, Sisi ane de usha confidence in form.
Okay.
But may I say, mema ya bemu mu bebrebe. The league, Sisi have 12 games. Rich,
is it over?
It's not over until it's over. On say 12 games, it's 36 points. And as at this moment, minim say obi betimi din say sibuni bose wajele.
Okay.
Yes, the only X factor wa hasisi ya ne ye supporters no. E say ne esi no ye to guyechi. Ne hwe ahead. Ne ye support ye players no so any technical team so ye be sere omo say memo ma bemumu esi awie they should let it go. Ne focus on the task ahead. And so mo bomb homodin because you see e ko wanchi be bobo vision. Yeko wanchi abobishin yetimi wini wanchi ni ebe wini vision at 6 points by hook or crook minim say sisi has lead 4 points and na medium lead 9 or so and but still Gabo no 9 nature say only 3 games so and has the nimpo there one game and I say 2 games you bet match has to be bia bet Messi. The only thing I say remaining focused. Near taking game after game. Now you supporters no, you dear support a supporting team no. That's all that we need.
Sir Fred, that's it. Yes, we assume. That's supporters and so next home game no.
In their numbers just like they did.
Sure,
because that is what we stand for.
Right.
Or no, and a bit in their chair management to say, Mufreya yeba, and the answer Kasama is a simuti. That is the only thing.
And that's it, Sir Fred, Edna Martin Canono, Asante Kotoko Global Supporters Union, Omo Kasama for Edna Martin Casiano, Edinkomo, Aye Sima. No early day into your discussions, I will fear. Na ready update na me fam enchai na sports farms ye be din komo be bre at the moment na our parliament said the ane attack no leadership by example and penifo na kire se omo so person omo boa ma sports fan no timi boa na abetina ho aya asundwe nti enra our parliament no MPs a donation Nhyira Kofi Adams ono na oda sports and recreation no asini 2-month salary aban entina yemfankoto air sport fandim afi honorable Roxanne Nelson Dafia Mako onso aye majority chief whip awo air parliament also onso ne salary 3 months yente emfankoto futunum ye papa ato forcing finance minister onso ne salary 1 month yente na yemfankoto futunum and honorable Dixon Chedia on a MP at the Bekum West and sport fan also or your board member on also say the 1 month salary and benefonte na yemfa enkoto aye sport fan yamon benefona baso pa ma ya de yom so betimi e de aboma sport fan no enso etimi akoyi eno no now to yen major discussion and person ye awo aye show no so enche Black Stars ye ya onboa ni akobo aye World Cup na empenifo and so I almost say you have 3 funny games. Even more, I almost say be crab about home. But as we speak here, I'm confirming I am Miensa. And I'm here March 27th, according to the Ghana Football Association, the Black Stars about funny game at the Etia Austria. You're born here 3 days time near call a Germany, Stuttgart. Now in Germany, so on national team no, Aquacoboni March 30th. You're born here May 22nd na yabo aye Mexico ani na no aye preparatory games ay bobo ansa na World Cup na kasa proper no Ghana akwakobu bi na ebasia of course I so to ado aye ne collapse ono so de bakakobo aye sa friendly games nyame adoma next month ya 2 matches no ono so ebetimi abo na yete se amrantie mienu Salim Adams amrantie osina kind ma aye mediema na amrantie fense hu bejewu on susia kadema ayi kumasa sante kotokono sam rante mienu yese technical team se omu ba ko de at least o metimi afre no na akusia kan ade ama the Black Stars of Ghana I were 2 friends and so there nyame adoma next month na 2 goalkeepers omo from House of Folk Benjamin Asari and Solomon Agbasi and rante mienu ni na no so de yete and say likely say bia say bibia ansesa dia omonso no Black Stars goalpost no 2 goalkeepers from House of Oak omudina no so betimi akọ na amakoda goalpost no edi ama aye Black Stars Benjamin Asari oni and deputy Solomon Agbesi and amanfo say na one team na ye fa 2 goalkeepers dey for adentina even for no aye ne sa abejan for me no ho na abrand ko na yengwere mu ni nkomo no emfa ema atifayala mensan chance emfa free aye word with the yetiti news ayeti between Hubejawu and na Abrante Salim Adams say the technical team na sa question ba ha I would omumi enu no ho wan na afi sen kem fa no na nyame adoma fa ni games won ko bu na kem fo mutu ni na anko
and get it to no ko yanka somdwe baba
sa
oh yeah the two no ko yanka somdwe baba and me jutum say omumie no nyina so obibi different kakra Salim aye 8 otimi bɔ 10 pa kama. The only weakness se Salim otim no any ball na omubi
without the ball
omubi onya aggressive without the ball, only the awareness to defend without the ball, only the discipline tactically without the ball, Onibi. But on the ball, you super fantastic. Or nice physique to retain possession amount. On you be able to bullying off the ball, Abby. Ne passing range, super. Whether short and answer long.
Trademark back up and yeah, drive.
Until the Tiago.
Bob short to be.
Now, dear, minim bebre about him and dribbling in tight spaces. And then the mean dear dance bebre say or was attribute to the casiepa. But ne ball retention, ne passing range, super. Then to add value to himself, and all these set pieces have become. So free kick betoa. Wadane dead ball adieno into specialty B, which gives him bibi kakra. Now Hubert Joe seems to be a jack of all trades kakra. Joe without the ball can give you the energy, or awareness to track back and defend. Obabua more defend without the ball. Joe with the ball, any ball movie on the ball and Nancy. A very good.
That kind of ball carrier.
Yes. On this Salim now, baby Ojano obo pass. Joe or the ball movie.
Ashima rumu type.
Yes, or the ball ba. In tight spaces or the confidence to dribble. And you're so flamboyant say typical no matter for the new but on him how to maneuver tight spaces, which is very, very good. Then there are some Ushe Jawu since Obe Pimo Kotoko, especially Ushe a catalog of goals awasha. Bebrenaye range. Technique no abo na bo na kose nti o sade no marriage adie ba ko a ema sa adie we complicated say e na blasters here technical team no what sort of an attacking midfielder from the local league and omope there without the ball, Oba team na man defending. Omupe a ball carrier. And I just simply need a technician in the final tether. Oba pass, Oba kutabono, Oba jinaso. Nasa set pieces bar. Omubenya option in him. Say Oba tuana. Says the American Omupe dia a passer, a ball retention specialist. And a free kick expert options are they go for Salim. But if they want a total midfield additional, Obama a little of BBAB, Oba tackle be abuao, Oba progressive one be abuao, Oba defend be abuao, a battle spaces Oba be abuao. He will add to the numbers for you to overload the central midfielder. Jau will give you that. They have a splendid Ghana Premier League season so far. But these are the little differences. Me GD say, be inform the technical team know who should go for. But in Pepe on the face of it, for what Salim is doing with Mediema, and the memory he gives you the moment you mention his name with the free kick goals in any sound. What's 5 goals in the Premier League? I think say he's slightly ahead of Joe. Ebia at the Blasters level, they don't need Obi BBB. They just need someone who's a specialist in something. And Ebasa and their Salim will have a chance. Rich Agbesi is a very, very good goalkeeper. Me assure say a no crazy when you invite her. It is based on a performance. But Rich, I deal with Nikano. When you're the right words, it will not come out the way you want to sound. There is nothing wrong with calling 2 hours of goalkeepers. There is nothing wrong.
At a league, as teams na kano. Beyond the keeper be a good as a friend account.
If you are introducing, and say, I also can years and a bear, you will not being kojo anunsi bone. That's where I'm starting from. There is nothing wrong.
Okay.
See a fair house of folk 2 goalkeepers. Bibianya wrong. But Rich, if you put the topic in your best analytic mood, you ask yourself, say, league ya ebwe, say a mu goalkeeper na ye pa. In terms of the number of games I have, and the performances of all the goalkeepers in the league, say offer Benjamin Asare, na offer Solomon Agbeshia, the number of matches awada, any the awaye womuno. Are we saying we will not get someone who is better than Solomon Agbeshia now? If it comes to that crunch, then I will say Binya Bibri. And yes, Solomon Agbeshia or your number 1 so baby for and on order and your friend or your number 2 to Asari. And it means say on your goalkeeper what a lot of matches. Say on your goalkeeper what a lot of matches there. Then you mention goalkeepers, which say Felix Chema. They've been there for Mediama throughout the season. Then you start to raise the questions.
That a Adriana goalkeeper no.
Gregory.
I'm saying I
no, but other
yeah.
Yes, Gregory.
You're bad.
Even Bebiani goes as a Mano Kubi. And also a Dagon is our 10 clean sheets. Okosa Matesa Zakaria Musa. Ono leading clean sheet with 13. And Sanaba Benjamin Esiedu of Bichem. Also 11 clean sheets. You see, I'm not basing on clean sheet. Make sure consistent performance. Because which at the end of my Solomon Abeshidi, African only dreams to acquire. But I mean, if you say that same time, Felice was also doing same for Mediama. And Felice has been consistent. From side time in every scene, and you Solomon Abesia or Prakobaya, it's all about number 2 hassle. Felice has been number 1 for Mediama. In those days, our CAF Champions League, where you're consistent, I will see a net on the team at the first in the Premier League.
Okay.
I don't have any problem with calling 2 goalkeepers from the same club. No, not at all. Mini problem there. But say if I put my analytic lens there, I think say Solomon Agbeshi has not done enough to beat goalkeepers Mr. Felice to the Blasters. If we need 2 local goalkeepers,
okay,
our Blasters anyone.
Govi?
I think for me, if you look at the 2 midfielders, Idiom Wonkoma, Ubejeru and Salim Adams, a comparative analysis of the 2 is very important, especially in terms of, again, what's the Black Stars needs, and then a Black Stars EP. But one thing is for sure, both players have been improved massively. Oshe Hubert Jehu from Brecum, Chelsea, coming through to Kotoko. And again, we say Salim Adams from New Dubiasi, Hearts of Folk, Cincinnati, coming back.
US
and then, of course, coming back to Accra to Foka. I think in all competitions, Salim was 6. League, no, and I can always say it was 5, but in all competitions, 6. Hubert Jehu has 4. That is goals.
Okay.
Usually, I know your apps now, so it doesn't help us get the assist.
But then these are the goals that both of them have contributed, which is very important. I think that in terms of the modern day midfielder, in as much as Black Stars PB, you know, there is also certain things that is very paramount. Say, oh, share up so we midfielder they could team be open midfielder one or we are very adaptable. Inti, and your midfielder will be team about 4-2-3-1 and kwa. Because say, oh, a dynamic midfielder sans adaptable. What it means is that we coach, you know, a mild opportunity to change our systems. So if you play somebody like Hubert Jehu or even Salim Adams, this person should be able to give you different ways of setting up a team, you know. And for me, that is where I have a little problem with Salim. I think Salim is specialist, specific or a specific good in certain areas. But the general attributes I'll be here for a midfielder that will give the coach a dynamic ability to set up the team, you know, I will have a little problem, kakra. Because again, Salim can play as a 10 and as an 8. In all of those two positions, I am favored in more the attacking area. So he has more goals. I'm sure you even have more assists, set piece, Ababe can ball no any other. But in the modern game, open midfield team very important for you. And sometimes that comes without the ball. You see, Enka over the two midfielders are Mediama and Kotoko one. Enka a Mediama player in Salim Adams than can a physical bono sen kubeti my year Jumadia ball team without the ball. Because Hubert Joey a diminutive. I'm not sure he's the height of Salim or a Titia, but he contributes to play. If we are number 6 and a number 8. Now you say number 6 now start to play. But when number 6 now start to play, when you head to the extent that the ball came out, you're able to work hard and recover the ball. You are very, very valuable asset. So we are number 8. Now number 8 now bonnie progressive ball not to be progressive. Into Salim to be progressive, Jehu to be progressive ball. But in all of that, you are still able to get 4 goals and Salim has 6 goals, and you can still work hard to get the ball back. Then Jehu is a valuable asset. So for me, as it stands now, I would go Hubert Jehu. Again, I like Nhyira progression between Kotoko. Then straight to the Black Stars. Again, Salim has the good ones as well. But I rather want to go with Hubert Jehu because I think you afford Otuado a little bit of a dynamic style of play. So never Black Stars team. Bekum Chelsea, yeah, Bekum. Yeah. No, yeah, over Black Stars team. Rich. I realize not the point where you see a reward the hard work of your young players now. Maybe Agbeshi's inclusion is to reward him. Because Ebra or Piki or Sanko or join the Black Stars Ebra by Mewa. And maybe in Kenya Agbeshi Prana. Maybe you in Kayeka Benjamin Asare wants him as Black Stars number 1. Maybe it would have been Agbeshi. Because he was on top form. And then just in the Ghana Premier League. Going to Africa and it's animal. I mean, the guy is solid. I just feel like maybe because we want to reward him for the good times and also about just a few games, because a lot of good goalkeepers about Ghana Premier League in Madari Money the other day 2 seasons ago were good, but when you're playing time, that's who make you wrong move. That's when you're being now it affects you. I think we want to reward Agbeshi. I'll not have a problem. Because I don't think Agbeshi will be in the Black Stars team proper. I think it's going to be in the friendly games now, and that will be a good reward for me. Yeah.
I don't depart giddy, but the numbers of Kenya say for me, we Benjamin Asaria. I think on the local scene, Felicia has been more consistent. Okay. Say reward or
reward him.
More energy drink. It give you the
ɛwɔ Holland Insurance.
Okay.
Ɔse anɔpɛ Kwame Asumenin a wɔte Dicham so ɛnɛ ne baba Chelsea Dufie Asumenin oko school ɛwɔ Esau Community School ɛwɔ Sepebo Krom ɛnɛ ɛyɛ Chelsea ne birthday nti Chelsea Dufie Asumenin ɛnɛ ɛna odi 9 years oko school ɛwɔ Esau Community School ɛwɔ Sepebo Krom o papa Kwame Asumenin a wɔte Dicham so ɛsɛ yɛmfa fidie we so na yɛn wish you happy birthday nti birthday wish no ɛna mayɛ ne kama ɛwɔ ɛhɔ no rich
yeah na minim say bia Max the best no but Max ɛsɛ wish engineer Kwame Entry Boss Yako na
do with us and familiar
also a PhD student candidate at Okia University. Now, ono sounds the CEO of Well Built Construction Limited, engineer Kwame Entry, Boss Engineer Entry Boss Yako, PhD candidate okay University Rich. Max is here for a video, so I wish you happy birthday.
Okay. Bet you see Nkai Obia say, who are Konya say Obabe bet influencer a day ama omo. A simple betting games a wohono, o show bet or bet we are. Na o unique code na bet so no share. Na afufro nso so e de etwa bet eno enema won nso so obeka bet we abusa no ho na obey bet influencer nti we simple o code na e bet awahye ne so no share na nkofo efa code no entwa bet na nso so enye sika efa efri mu e ho undi 18 years amesrewa eya na watwe ho e de efri bet mu wodi 18 years dia na nso so wo ho akonya so obebet na emum na ya na obet responsibly Ede ama ye bet we almost get way more. Unilever International see enkayo. Say otete semna locks a odwaye no. Say o ma improve no na omo the varieties aba eye for skin a sham e boa ama wedi ne toso na wedi no etimi nyini kama. Say o ya akra o ye bema o ye kokko o ye tuntum sene o wedi esitie bia no e afa semna locks e dware baby e to semna bia okwa osi o tete locks na you see improve from Unilever no omoma obi na efa kodware opedudu atu a na wafre Big Jake e was 0244 812364 0244 812364 enya locks samna nko a omo de Rexona 72 hours deodorant enso so e de abadwaman so a omo ton e de amount on sa bacteria na men fifre etel na man kakakra ade aba ho no say Rexona say the new 72 hours no enti nadaroma oma yis ade no mpo e de afiwo udi gu ho a enfifre mpo ntew na wakwakọ nya enka e de aba ho efise oma ye ne papa e sham na udi bi gu ho abra odware wi a wankasa wo say yes ubetimi go through the whole day 3 days na enfifre ntew na ho e da so ye fresh se ne open na enti baby a oto deodorant bia no kwa insist so mo Rexona almost 72 hours ni bi na efegu amoto provision shop hono supermarket hono mall hono baby a ton deodorant bia no unsa ebetimi akabi na mom say open deodorant a na wakoda the ash stores ewo okaishi won cry advanced savings opposite wa unsa ebetimi akomo water takrade market circle adjacent car bank no wo kumasin so dia Mrs. Aroche Plaza building na eye opposite Boss FM no unsa ebetimi akada the ash ubetimi afre no ewo 0531 013 881 0531 013 881 enye daddy action kwa beauty glow enso so ewo dosopo of Rexona na okwa obetimi etubi edi amount omo 2 shops ewo Doom PZ I ben asempa pharmacy no udu kejeti Dubai shop number G1549 I ben police station no beauty glow ewo kejeti na opposite gate 8 ehono mo a baby a the same building CBG ewo mu no beauty glow ewo and na konkan so Makola Mall and Makola Central Market was so unsa ebetimi akon obetimi afa Unilever International na oni omo edin komo ewo 0543 384 958 0543 384 958 Rich.
Ate from Pamcha from Nhyira na adom kase no ento aso nyame adom o chena Saturday yɛne mu bɛhyia awɔ weekend sports no so anɔpa 9 na ɛtena